Hello and welcome back to Off the Beaten Quest. There's a lot of D&D podcasts out there, but you chose this one, and we're so glad you did. Plus, this podcast is recommended by 4 out of 5 marine biologists. Last session, we had a lot of interesting revelations with the Eyes of Dendia, as well as a lot of things from Eira's backstory kind of coming to light, as well as some investigations of some mysterious figures in the town of Luware, and learning some things about the person who runs the Alderwood Athenium. And subsequently, Eira was taken and kind of forced to deal with a ritual. And the end of the session had a few friends from before showing up from a long time ago. So that's where we are going to pick right back up in session 78, entitled Impacts. So, you all had just kind of been freed from this spell as Tuxlop and the other Herringons kind of showed up on the scene. And they kind of asked where Eira was and mentioned that they were going to help kind of get her back. Tuxlop kind of looks at all of you and he says, allow me to introduce myself. I'm Tuxlop if you haven't met me before. I think I've seen a few faces. Some of you look a little new. And to my right is Olana. She's a specialist in hand-to-hand combat. And this is Rog. He's a resilient fighter specializing in combat with a shield that seems to have some interesting properties as he uses it. And then these are the twins, Stilette and Chris. Dagger specialists and expert assassins. We make up the Burrow Vanguard.
The Burrow Vanguard. I don't know. That's so cute.
I'm not sure what you're doing here, but me and my team have been tracking down a few, some leads as to where about the missing person of somebody that we know quite well, and that's befriended and he pauses for a minute, the adventurants, and it kind of led us to this location, and again, I don't know where Eira is, but I'm assuming it's kind of all related. What seems to be the issue here?
Bad things are happening. We need to get inside right now. She got kidnapped by some bad people. I also like to think that Sable took like 20 more seconds to wake up because the spell lasts a minute.
Oh, yeah,
so
yeah.
She was just we were all just like waiting for her to wake up.
Yeah.
The dreams were good.
So you all are essentially, are you still inside the building, like looking out the window? Would you get out and like come to these people, or would you stay in the building?
I thought the building was like 5 feet away. Like I thought I was like right outside where they were.
I mean, essentially you guys are kind of still in the front of this place, like in the street a little bit. Yeah, but they're not like...
Guys, come on.
They're like 10 feet away.
Guys,
maybe.
come on. There's an arcane lock on this building. This is the only way in. We can only go in the window.
And you see that, like, there's a look on Jax's face. Some of you haven't seen this before, but you recognize it. It's similar to the look that he had on his face before they went to Scavengeport. And Jax says, where's the quartz pointing?
It's going like downstairs from...
So yeah, so you like hold it up. Essentially, it's like where you're holding it, it's like pointing. So essentially, if you're like looking out the window holding it, it's kind of pointing kind of like down like that.
Down.
And he looks to Tuxlop and, oh yeah, Kitty Cam, first appearance really early on. Good for him.
Trying to make up for earlier.
Yeah. He looks at Tuxlop and he goes, is there a way for you to get me up in the air? And he goes, yeah, I don't, sure. I think there's a way to do it. And
Sorry.
And he looks over at Elion. He goes, Can you give me the spell that Verity gave you, or that you gave to Verity before?
What?
The enhance ability spell that you put on.
Oh.
I was like, that's very general. I was like, what are we talking about? I was about to be like, I can get Stella out of the box and she can cast fly on Jax. Yes, I can.
I'm going to need to make sure that this can work. So I need you to do that.
Okay. I give him a little pat on the shoulder
You're
through
gonna
the
have to,
window.
you're going to have to get out of the building.
Man, okay, I jump out of the window.
And so Tuxlop looks over at the twins and he says, he's like, all right. And he kind of snaps his fingers and the twins kind of like nod. And they like kind of lay on their backs on the ground with like their feet like kind of flat upward. And Tuxlop kind of kneels on their feet in like this crouched position. And Jax looks at the group and says, all right, once I'm in the air, you're going to need to get as far back as possible. I've really only done this once, and I'm not sure if this is going to work the way I think it is. But and he looks at Tuxlop and the twins. He says, "Are you ready?" He says, "Is whatever be, mate." And you guys are all kind of like looking around at each other, like not knowing what's going on. And so Jax essentially kind of starts to take a few steps back from everybody, kind of like almost like in a line away from this like formation that the Herringons are doing. And meanwhile, Eira, now you had just been thrown into the wall, essentially like kind of hitting a few bookshelves and books kind of tumbling over top of you.
6 HP.
Okay. And you hear these like massive clang of like warforged feet, essentially like approaching you. And he says, and you hear your brother's voice in this like robotic kind of version of it. And he says,
"Come on, sis. I thought you were stronger than that."
And he says,
"Elendor, be prepared to continue the ritual. Shouldn't take much longer."
"What do you do?"
Wish that Ben had made me be able to add the guardian to myself with my tattoo. That's what I wish. Because I can't. Because the tattoo lets me use my reaction to impose disadvantage on an attack roll against others, but not myself. Lame. It's fine.
Him and I were just talking about that. How Eliana is his favorite because she's the one that uses the tattoo the most.
I use it every combat.
Technically, Jax uses his every combat too, but his was just a modification
anytime
of one he
someone's
already
within
had.
5 feet of Eira, the problem is everybody freaking runs around like ants.
Shoutouts to Ben.
Yeah.
You'll meet him eventually.
So what are you gonna do?
What does that take? Can I? Oh, I can. I'm gonna use minor illusion to create the sound of a gnat
Okay.
around like both ears, but not like one gnat, like a fury of gnats
Okay.
to try to distract, so she can try to crawl away.
Interesting.
It's a cantrip.
Yeah, it is. Seems like such a very last-inch effort.
Well, she has 6 HP
6 HP
and
and
a
dream.
dream.
So essentially, you get up and you kind of like cast this like minor illusion.
Oh no, she's not up. She's down.
She's down.
She's down. She's doing that, and she's gonna try to like army crawl away.
And
Like,
as you-
so am I visualizing this correctly? Like the bookcase she hit, there are other bookcases behind it.
no, essentially the bookcases are along the wall, and so he hit you into the bookshelves as enough to make them come off of the wall and fall down, or at least the books to like break off the shelves and like the shelves to fall. The shelves didn't fall down, but the books and stuff like all that, like kind of.
Is there a secret passage behind one of them?
Not that bookshelf.
Damn it!
Damn, that means there's a chance on one of the other.
Maybe I don't know. We'll have to find out.
Damn it!
So you do this, and he seems to be not phased, and he essentially like, walks over And he says,
How close is he?
he's like right next to you.
Word of radiance.
Okay.
You're gonna blow past this because you're gonna use one of your not weighted dice. But he needs to make a Constitution saving throw.
What do I need to beat?
13.
27.
It's a 16, actually. So I still beat it. It's a good thing we're not in the water, because you'd ruin the marine life because of all that salt.
Damn, that means only 3 of 5 marine biologists would approve of us.
What'd you say? Oh, instead of 4 out of 5, it's 3 out of 4.
Fucked up the marine life.
So I mean, I'm seeing this as like she did like the minor illusion. Okay, that didn't work. Okay, then she throws out the word of radiance. Okay, that didn't work. It looks like as much of a last ditch effort as it can be.
Yeah. Okay. So again, didn't really work. He walks over and he essentially grabs you with one, kind of grabs your ankle with one hand and kind of drags you closer to him, and then grabs you by the throat with the other hand.
Okay.
And he says the ritual just needs to keep your heart beating. It doesn't matter what shape you're in. And Elendor essentially kind of walks back over with the ritual knife. Now again, covered in that black ooze kind of substance. And the knife kind of starts lowering the knife again to get closer to you. I'm gonna need you to make a Constitution saving throw for me, please. As essentially he's got a grip pretty tightly around your throat at this point.
And I can't guide. No, of course not. What am I able to guide?
I don't.
You said con.
Yeah.
You said you can. You said that.
I guess.
Let's go. I needed it. That is a. What is that? 9 plus 15. No. 14.
14.
14.
You have about 5 seconds before your HP hits 0.
Can I?
Or 5 minutes, I should say. Maybe I'll give it 5 minutes.
Can I?
No. Nope. Back with the group. Nope.
Can I lay on hands myself?
You got 2 turns in a row to do whatever things. It's my turn now.
Has it been 30 minutes?
No.
Oh! I can't die. That hurt my tooth.
Oh, no. I mean, she's been gone for more than 30 minutes. But I don't know when you casted that, but she's been gone for
I didn't cast it. It's from earlier.
It's from last session, but essentially she was taken from you guys at the Tavern and Inn. In theory, she's been essentially gone for close to an hour at this point. But
we tried.
She's gone, guys. We tried.
she's gone. I mean, yeah, sorry.
I'm in with
Let me at her.
So now back with the group on the street. Jax kind of has this is very much laser focused as he's kind of a few feet away from this, and he kind of and you see that he has this angry yet focused face, and he just takes off in this full sprint kind of towards the 3 Harringons, and he runs and jumps, and in the air he shifts into an all black Harengon and jumps on the back of Tuxlop as they say, and he says now, and then Tuxlop jumps off of the 2 as the 2 are pushing their feet up off of them. So essentially they're using their Harengon jump to push Tuxlop up as he's using his own Harengon jump to jump up 20 feet, essentially casting them up, I want to say, anywhere between 20 and 40 feet, kind of how that amalgamates together. And then Jax, in a split second, as they kind of jumps off, I'm going to need to make a couple strength checks because I want to make sure that they can push each other with the added weight. Natural 20, 16, and a 15. And that's without any modifiers. So they essentially jump into the air, and Tuxlop and Jax are in the air about 20 feet up. Tuxlop looks upward, and he casts Dimension Door in front of them. And Jack's using his heron gun jump in that form, jumps 20 feet off of him just as Tuxlop casts jump onto him. So he shoots up 50 more feet into the dimension door, shooting him straight 500 feet more in the air. So he's now 550 feet above. As Tuxlop's coming back down, the twins jump up to catch Tuxlop so they can land safely, so it kind of meets him in the middle.
How did Tuxlop know? What? Okay.
And Eira's
They have-
underground.
Just wait. Just
I'm
wait.
not questioning that part.
You'll see now what I'm going to be like as a player if any of you DM, so trust me. So Jack's now 550 feet in the air. He kind of essentially is like in this moment where he's like looking down, and he kind of takes another deep breath, and you see him change form into a large storm giant, essentially in the midst of like the entire skyline of Luare. And he essentially kind of does this like roll forward as he faces himself straight down, and essentially is now like kind of almost like Superman flying straight down into the ground. I'm gonna need all of you that are still on the ground to make a perception check. I'll roll for the Herongons.
How much damage is this man's gonna take falling 550 feet?
24.
So Alana and Tuxlop both see it. The two twins don't from where they are.
11.
11. Okay.
7.
7. So the others that see it are like, we need to move back. Like, go back farther. Move back farther. So you see now he kind of essentially is like plummeting to the ground with his fist outstretched. Now it's kind of like starting to illuminate that like bluish purple that he usually uses when he's like doing his attacks. And you see him like rushing like faster and faster to the ground, to the point where when he impacts the ground with like a loud like boom, and it like cascades through it like, oh, did it even make the sound effect? Boo. Hold on. We're going to do that again. He hits the ground and it makes a loud boom. It's so low. Maybe I have the volume up on the other shit.
Third time's a charm. You got this.
There we go.
There you go.
And so he hits the ground with the boom, and as we cut back to the group underground, the Elendor kind of bringing it closer to your skin, there's like this like slow like rumbling heard from above. Essentially, you're starting to lose, like, you're kind of fading in and out, but you're still kind of conscious for this part.
Yeah.
As essentially you hear like as like this frost giant like crashes through the ceiling of this
Frost or storm?
whatever I said first.
Okay.
I think I meant to say frost giant. I don't know why I said storm giant first, but frost giant, and then he kind of jumps through. And you see as he kind of like bursted through this thing, as Jax hit the ground, he changed back into his base form, and he kind of like stands up and he like brushes some dust off of his shoulders as he stands. All the cultists kind of now are all like kind of flown in different directions in this room.
Is the Warforged in, like,
He's not.
there?
He wasn't phased. He's still essentially. It's like he like was
Eira's
hit the
gonna-
back of the impact of it.
she's going down, right? Like, she's fading. She's still gonna, like, cut this, like, shit-eating grin over to her brother.
Yeah, I mean, and you clock Jax just as you are kind of. You essentially you lose consciousness.
Yeah.
It like kind of like knowing the commotion, it kind of like turns over and says,
What's all this now?
and he like looks at, and Jax essentially kind of like smashes his fists together in this like energy thing, and he just starts like charging at this Warforged. The rest of you in the Herongons essentially kind of like there's this like massive essentially crater that was just like formed in the middle of this street in the
Sable
Ware.
awake now.
Yeah.
Yeah, Sable's been awake. Yeah. So I would think the rest of you would essentially just all like kind of jump into the hole essentially to kind of make through.
1000%.
We don't gotta worry about fall damage. We're just going in. Are we okay?
You get hung up on the details too much. If
We're playing a game.
if I'm not forcing fall damage, don't worry about it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, then I will jump down the hole.
We're lucky.
I don't want to worry about that.
You were just gonna leave Eira to fuck off? You were gonna take fall damage?
No, I was gonna find a different way down.
Oh. You could,
Yeah.
like, probably the door in the building.
I don't want to get hurt.
She could wild shape and fly down, okay?
Look, sometimes I'm like, do the rules apply or are we cool in this? And then I'm like, okay, if we're cool in this, I'll go down,
You just
jump down
fell
the hole.
550 feet and didn't take any damage.
That's
Do
why
you
I was
think-
concerned. I didn't know
I
if
know,
we took
but
it.
that's when you think, oh, we're probably in the rule of cool moments.
Okay.
Rule of cool.
Okay, in the future, guys, if I want to fall 500 feet, let me do it.
It's circumstantial.
It's different for you.
This is an epic cinematic moment. Just go with it.
I'm going into the bed.
Don't get lost in the blood grass.
Not the blood grass.
How close can I get to Eira?
So essentially, like, the way the rubble is and the way you guys are coming down, essentially, as you guys all jump into this area, they're, like, all the cultists that have kind of, like, essentially, like, were not a part of the blast or the rubble or anything like that, they're now kind of, like, getting up and moving their way towards all the people that are kind of essentially, like, pouring in through the ceiling, and so to speak. And, I mean, this chasm, to answer your question about the fall damage, I mean, the rock itself, as far as like street level to the roof of this place, is maybe only like 2 to 3 feet, and then the chasm itself is only about like 5 feet. So you're only jumping down about like 8 feet. So it's like jumping into the bottom of a deep end of a pool. So like, you know, you'll be all right. You may take like, you know, 2 points of fall damage at most. You know, your ankles will hurt the next day.
My ankles.
So what we're going to do is essentially I'm going to go one by one around the tables. So instead of rolling initiative, we're just going to do it like back and forth. So it'll be like, just for example, it'll be like you and then a cultist, you and then a cultist, you and then a cultist, and like the rabbits and stuff like that.
So that I keep my mouth shut, am I at 0 now?
Yeah, you're unconscious. Eira is essentially unconscious now, kind of like, and as Jax like starts to charge towards his warforged, he like tosses Eira down as he like kind of like turns to like charge towards Jax. And Tuxlop, as like they're jumping in, is like, oh, that's one way to make an incident. and Olana's very much like, oh, the city's not gonna forget about this anytime soon. So like so we're gonna have to act fast, otherwise people are gonna start to panic. And so as you all kind of get in there and kind of these cultists are kind of starting to kind of swarm towards you, there's probably about, I want to say like 8 or 9. There's not a lot. There was only like a few in this ritual. I think we said like 10 essentially when we were doing your scene last time. So I think one of them would have gotten just like messed up by the rubble, and then the others would still be alive. You, in your head, Verity, you start to hear these like whispers. And he says, bring me their souls.
You got it.
And then, so you essentially, you kind of feel this like, kind of like a charge of energy, essentially, as like this, is it almost feels as if like the new deal you had negotiated with Erebus is, it's more working in tandem versus working with friction.
Okay.
So the group of you, so essentially you and a cultist, right? You two are fighting. What are you going to do?
Where are the cultists like kind of close to each other?
I think that you all would have jumped down in like a cluster and they'd be kind of surrounding at this point.
Hey guys, I'm gonna do something and y'all might not like it, but I'm gonna do something.
Play the game.
I'm gonna cast Ice Storm.
Okay. Okay.
I'm gonna try and center it on as many cultists as I can. Hail falls in a 20-foot radius, 40-foot high cylinder centered on a point within range. Each creature in the cylinder makes a dexterity saving throw. A creature takes 2d10 bludgeoning damage and 4d6 cold damage on a failed save, or half as much on a successful.
How many death saves is that for me? Do I lose?
I didn't know if you were in the area or not.
How big is the area?
It's 20-foot radius.
So this is a like 20 by 10 like hallway-esque room.
Oh, I was picturing like a huge cavern,
I
like
was too.
underground.
Well, it's essentially, if you think about it, it's like a small chapel-sized room.
Okay.
That was the way it was described previously. Essentially, it's like a small chapel like area with a altar at the end.
Do I see Eira like unconscious?
Essentially, like as you guys jump down, so a lot of this is happening kind of simultaneously, right? So essentially, as Jax and the Warforged kind of charged at each other, Jax kind of like charged up a fist, and like their fists like hit each other, and his fist ends up like going through the like because I remember I described him as like one of his arms was like reassembled. Essentially, like it punches like through the like reassembled arm, and like cuts through it and like kind of breaks it in essentially, and then like the other arm from the Warforged kind of like strikes Jax. They're kind of like going blow for blow. So when you jump down, you don't necessarily see her right away. There is a lot of rubble, a lot of like just like different things kind of strewn about. So you don't necessarily see her right away.
Okay, well then, to not metagame, I'm just assuming I'm going to try and take out as much people that are here as possible.
Okay.
So I'm going to cast that, and ice chunks a bunch of hail, just like a shit ton of hail.
My
Just starts
question
falling
stands.
down.
How many death saves do I fail?
It would just be one.
Yeah, essentially it's one because you automatically failed. But you don't. Well, so it's weird. You failed.
It's fine.
It's not like. Is it a saving throw?
He has a saving throw.
Yeah, but you unless you took more. Does she lose a death save at that point? Because it's not. She only takes a little bit of damage. She's not taking.
If you take damage when you're unconscious, you lose. a
Yeah.
death
Okay.
saving
Yeah.
throw.
All right.
Yeah.
It's fine.
Um.
We're fine. Love you all. Stay cute.
Trying to four.
I'm not gonna let this happen.
It's so fine. It's okay. It's okay.
Do like the two.
It's okay. We have a cleric
rabbits.
now.
It's fine.
It's fine.
Rabbits, Jax. Okay, so this is a lot of. What's the DC?
It is a DC 17.
17.
Everyone has to roll except for Eira because she's gonna
Yeah.
die. Okay.
DC 18 of what? Sorry, I wasn't paying attention.
DC 17, and it is a dex saving throw.
Otherwise, they take full damage.
Yes. And then they take half on a fail. I mean, half on a success.
I do just want to say this is a hell of a way for Eira's brother to meet her future brother-in-law. Love this for Jax.
It's a great
Okay,
first
so-
impression.
It is.
Essentially, all the Herringons and Jax take full damage.
So does Verity.
Oh, I take full damage too.
All but 3 of the cultists take full damage.
It's not bad.
So
Worth
it's 21 points of damage.
Okay.
Do any of them have like resistances? Because it's bludgeoning and cold damage.
Not really.
Okay.
These are just dudes in robes.
Okay.
Well,
I
they're not
also
all dudes,
failed.
but yeah, they're people in robes.
So 21 points of damage.
Okay.
And then the ground is difficult terrain until... Is it the start or the end? Until the end of my next turn.
Well, that's what she gets.
It's real slippery. It's real icy, guys. That
Good.
just... I mean, that's
She's trying her
just means
best.
that just means it's like twice your movement.
Yeah.
And if the room's kind of small, it's not too bad.
Okay, so it's not like
Yeah.
the ground takes damage from you.
Why don't you
No.
save some for
Okay.
the rest of them to do some shit to these people too, right? Like, you don't need to kill all of them.
Let
Just
her
those.
play.
Let her
Kill them all.
do
Kill them all.
I'm
What about the full damage?
I want to save my friends.
Okay. So you essentially like take out like they're not like an insta kill, right? So so you do that. The cultist rolls a natural 20 to stab you essentially with the dagger, and so it is 16 points of piercing damage.
I'm gonna use my Breath of the Cosmos tattoo. Hey Ben, cut that damage in half
Okay.
to 8.
Okay. All right, Verity, what are you going to do?
For the first time ever, I'm going to use Shadow of Moil.
Okay.
It's my action, and then question with the 2-weapon fighting. Can I use Nyx with that, or is that just with my action?
I mean, yeah, like Shadow of Moil, essentially, it's... So if you were to do that and then bonus action is your offhand attack, it still counts as like a secondary like thing. I think maybe Nick goes off of the first attack, though.
I just want to make sure.
No, it says when you make the extra attack of the light property, you can make it as part of the attack action instead of as a bonus action. So it allows you to do it as like the normal attack.
Okay, so I can do.
Yeah, I'll allow it. I mean,
Cool. I just want to make sure.
we're in weird territory at this point.
We're ruling of cooling it. Okay. I need to bring my daggers up. 25 for the first one,
Okay.
and then a 13 for the second.
Okay. They both hit.
Oh, okay. Cool.
Again, I mean, they're
Just guys in robes.
they're people in robes. Like
The guys.
their ACs are like not like super high at this point.
What damage? 1 and a 2, so that's a 3 plus a 10,
Did you sneak attack?
13. Oh, I do get sneak attack, don't I?
Allies in 5 feet.
Yeah.
That's automatic.
At least for one of them, yeah. Whichever one you're attacking.
I mean, I'll just do it all on one.
Yeah.
Okay. So the first one was 13, then sneak attack. Where's my sneak attack?
3d6.
3d6.
Right? Yeah.
Oh, 11, so 24? 13 plus 11.
Yeah, 24. Mm-hmm.
Cool.
Okay. So you essentially, you like take out the one that you're essentially coming across because of the ice storm that it kind of afflicted a lot of them. So you essentially like you cut one down and then you essentially like take the second knife and like kind of essentially hit the same like the guy in the heart, and then essentially like the purple like energy kind of like sucks out of their body essentially into this knife. And they become like, they're already kind of pale, but they become like paler. So it's almost like this like kind of grayish white pale as they kind of like their body falls to the ground, kind of devoid of all vitality and energy. Okay, what about Sable?
So
We forgot that he has.
Yeah.
I don't know combat very well, so
Fucking prove yourself, bitch. This is your first challenge.
player cries. If someone is like 0 hit points and fading, if they just heal, do they become stable, or do I have to stabilize them then heal them?
They essentially they get brought back conscious, and they're essentially just prone. They have to like it takes like their whole thing to get up. Like,
Use half my movement to stand up if I wanted to.
Okay, cool. How close can I get to her?
do you know where she is?
I'm gonna look for her.
Okay, so roll for perception to see if you can see Eira.
Be nice to me. Wait. +6. Oh. Ooh. 22.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, you see she's off to very like one side of this, the rubble and stuff.
Okay. I'm gonna run. Hopefully I can get within 30 feet of her.
Okay. Okay, so we failed the opportunity attack. So you essentially like you kind of dip to go to heal Eira.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I'll use one of her channel divinities.
Okay.
And I'll restore 2d8 + 4 HP to her.
Okay.
So like Sable will kind of run that direction, and then she's in her little bag, like, oh my god, and she tries to grab her tarot cards, and she's like, fuck, and she just throws all of them at her and hopes it hits her.
Okay.
And then it's 2d8 + 4. Okay. Be nice to me, dice.
They're paper cuts, but they're like healing paper cuts.
Did you just roll your wheeler woe?
No, I rolled for my concentration, and I
Oh.
have advantage for my spells.
Oh, that's right. The icy.
Well, Jack's, it's not for the ice one, it's for Jack's.
Oh, yeah.
He still has advantage on strength checks now, so for the hour that I'm concentrating.
Oh, I didn't roll with advantage on the first one.
Yeah.
I still got it anyway.
It's 15 points of
Okay.
healing.
So you're essentially Eira gets kind of brought back conscious. So the Jackson the Warforged, like the Herringons are essentially like, kind of clean it up. Like you see like kind of Raj like take his shield and like throw it, and it like hits like 2 or 3 of them and bounces back to him. It's very much Captain America in a Herringon. And
LOL, Raj.
yeah, get it? Like Rogers.
Oh
yeah,
my
that's the whole reason I did that.
God damn it.
Stop it.
That flew right under the radar for me.
And the two like the twins essentially like with their daggers are essentially kind of like almost like working off of each other in like this like form to kind of like take out a bunch of these like cultists. Olana is like taking out a few with like her quarterstaff, as well as like Tuxlop in like with his rapier. And essentially like Jack's in this Warforged are kind of exchanging blows, and at one point the Warforged with its like good hand like hits Jack's like backwards, and he kind of like slides across the ground, and he says,
Enough of this.
he says,
This isn't worth it. I'll see you again soon, sister.
and he kind of his hand like illuminates, and he kind of hits the ground, and you see like
She would like to.
he's gone.
I'm aware.
Yeah,
Can I have a moment, please?
I know. but
Equally as cinematic as you are.
Every time I try to do a moment, you got like you're right there behind me.
She's
so,
gonna try. She's still gonna throw a dagger. She's gonna try to beat it.
Okay. Go ahead and roll.
Okay.
Please get a nat 20.
I'm trying to be just as cinematic as you are.
This is what I wanted to happen. It's a natural 1.
Hey.
So I wanted her to fail, but I wanted her to go down fighting.
Fair
So-
enough. You essentially like you go to throw it, but you're like very weak, and it like doesn't.
It goes
really
like
go
maybe 3, like
3
3 feet.
inches. Yeah, like it just goes like a few feet, like an inch away from you, and it just like falls.
Yeah.
And essentially the Warforged is gone out of the room. And you saw like Jack like tried to like run to catch him before, and it didn't like. So essentially now the cultists and stuff are kind of slowly one by one kind of being taken out, and you see in midst of your fighting, Verity, you go to attack another cultist, and you see that it is Kaelin, Elendor's son.
No.
Take him out.
I thought he was like 6 years old.
Take him out.
No.
And you
Yeah.
got
It's like-
mad at me for telling
He's like
on
an
him.
adult. Okay.
He's like 14 in human years.
He's
is what
like
you
14, yeah.
Okay.
Take him out.
I thought he was like a little kid.
So you essentially like you raise your dagger at him, and he says, wait, I surrender. I don't. Please don't kill me.
You hear Eira yell from across the room. Take him out.
Sorry, bud. She's the champion. But in a southern accent, because I don't think I did in a southern accent. Anyway, she goes to stabby stab.
Okay.
We're just killing children now, guys. It's fine.
No redemption for Verity. Okay,
Yeah.
roll for attack.
I don't like this music. Uh, 17.
Okay. So essentially you go to stab, and the knife doesn't take his soul. And you hear in your head, I guess you favor our old agreement. And the kid just drops to the ground.
Do I see this?
Do I see this?
I mean, you essentially, like, the Herringons and the rest of you in this room essentially see Verity. Like, because the hood had fallen off. Like, the mask, the hood, and everything. So you guys saw that this is Kaelin, the son. And she, listening to Eira, stabs through him. And this the equivalency of like a 14-year-old boy just like collapses on the ground.
Run up and cast Spare the Dying on this child. This is a child.
Yeah, go ahead and.
Oh my god. Verity, this is a child.
Verity drops her weapons
Okay.
and just backs off.
I cast Spare the Dying.
Okay. Yeah. So does Spare the Dying make him conscious or just stable?
No, he's just stable.
Just stable.
Okay. So he's like, you cast Spare the Dying. Essentially, the stab wound that was there kind of like almost like closes up a little bit, and then like he's essentially like unconscious, like on the ground, like labored breathing for sure.
I'm gonna try and like drag him like out of the combat, like if there's still like cultists around.
At this point, all the cultists are dead,
Okay.
Including Elendor.
including Elendor. Yeah.
It's gonna sound fucked up, guys, but in Eira's head,
I know what you're
he's gonna be an orphan. Well, good thing Dawn's not here.
Stop it. The orphan maker. We've already done it.
Essentially, Jax walks over to Eira and kind of like helps her up, and kind of she's able to kind of stand sort of like kind of with his like help, essentially with how like weak and stuff you are given everything. The Herringons are taken back a little bit given the circumstances, and Tuxlop says, "All right, everybody, hug the walls. Hold on, hug the walls."
Okay.
And essentially everybody kind of moves, and you see him kind of wave his hands, and like the rubble that was from the ceiling kind of like flies back up into the ceiling as he casts like mold earth, and he looks at you, Aliana, and he says, give me a hand here.
Okay. Yeah, I start using my mold earth. My hands light up, and the stars start circling, and they.
And it kind of like re-solidifies the the ceiling above the chamber, essentially kind of like putting it back where it was, essentially, like kind of give or take. Now you're left in this darkened room. Herringons, dead bodies. And like the twin Herringons kind of start like relighting some of the torches in the room. And you guys are all.
I can make the boy suffer without killing him.
No.
No, like I wouldn't actually hurt him. What I would do is I would bring his dad back to life, and then he only has a certain amount of time before he has to kill his own dad or die to him.
We are not doing that. Eliana in her head is like, as a child, I was indoctrinated to my religion, and this child has been indoctrinated into this cult, and she's like very protective over this child right now. Like,
And Eira wants to leave because all Eira thinks is it's too late, he's too far gone.
Yeah.
He's going to come for her later
Yeah,
if he's allowed to live.
yeah.
Eliana and Eira are back to fighting, guys. The truce was fun while it lasted.
I do think that this is a really good like middle ground because like he could still live if he kills his own dad.
Where's the door?
It's not visible. You still don't know where it is.
She doesn't want to be here. She wants to leave.
Okay.
She'll start walking around until she finds the door.
I guess you can start just hobbling around.
Here she is.
Okay.
Verity's going to detect magic to see if there's any.
Okay.
You are.
Thank you, Sable, for bringing Eira back up. I appreciate it. You seem very viable to our group circumstance.
I
Yeah.
won't do what I was saying to the kid. Like
Okay.
if everyone is not like on board, then I won't do it. You know what I mean? But
Yeah.
I will do this. And she like throws up a few cards and she casts mass healing word
On everybody.
on everyone. It's
Okay.
within 60 feet and it's 6 people. So
Okay. Hey, so what 6
2,
people do you
4,
choose?
5. Us 5, and did Tuxlop get hurt?
No, none of the Herringons took any damage.
Did the twins take damage?
Mm-mm.
So no, none of the other ones hurt?
Mm-mm.
Oh, then just us. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
You
I
could
mean,
heal
you
the
could essentially
sun.
heal the sun.
Fuck that. Oh, let me ask. Should I wake him up so that like you guys can talk to him and see if he's savable? Savable?
Okay. I mean, I feel like he surrendered, and I don't know how powerful he could be. I mean, we could tie him up and like question him when he wakes up naturally.
Okay, let's do it. Let's tie him up.
I feel really bad about this.
About tying a kid up?
Yes.
This sweet-ish woman almost died.
Yeah, I don't think it was the child's fault.
I mean, did he hurt someone? He can
He
take.
was kind of just going along with what his
But
dad
how do you
told
know?
him to
How do you know?
Because he ushered you guys out. He tried to save you guys by having
Oh
you
my
leave.
goodness, I truly forgot about that. You are so right.
He literally tried to save you guys from his dad.
Okay,
First,
you're so right. I literally am just a girl. And she's then gonna heal all 6, including the
Oh
child.
my
Killed
God.
the child. Okay.
Okay, 44.
I am just a girl.
Just literally just a girl.
Tell me why that one audio, like just an ordinary girl. So essentially, you cast that mass healing word.
8,
Damn.
11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16 points.
Okay.
To everyone.
And the boy kind of like, and he kind of like gets up and essentially is like, kind of like sits up and kind of like starts backing away towards the
Hey,
wall away from
hey.
all of you.
It's okay. Hey, do you remember me?
Oh, yeah. Don't kill me again, please.
I promise you, I will not kill you. I cannot speak for the rest of my friends, but I'm vying for you because you did help. You did try to get them out originally, and you're just a kid, okay?
Yeah, this shit's crazy. My dad just kind of forced me into doing all this, and I didn't even want to be in this place. I didn't even know that this was under here until.
Hey, Sable, can you cast that zone of truth?
Yeah.
That might help us here a little bit. To
Sable literally, like, when he said, my dad made me do this, she rolled her eyes and she was like,
ease everyone's worries.
And in Eira, she's still looking for the door. She's like, everyone fucking lies.
oh,
Like, why-
poor
why does-
girl.
You just hear Olana saying to Raj, like, awkward.
Zone of truth. Can you guys make a dex save of 16? I don't even make it. Okay.
Do you want to use my dice tray? It's outside of the tray. Just use mine, honey, because it's
Oh, I got the same roll.
okay.
Okay,
Okay.
I'm good.
Is Viridian?
So essentially, is this like everybody in this vicinity?
I
Is it
believe
like
so.
a
It's
30 foot-
60 feet.
Oh, okay. Yeah, then it's everybody.
Cool.
Verity fails it on purpose.
Yeah, Eira doesn't give a shit.
Yeah, I mean, essentially, like, nobody fights back.
Oh, okay. Does
Yeah,
the
I'll
child
take
fight
it.
back? No.
No.
Oh,
I rolled good, but yeah, I'm like, I'll fail it. It's fine.
wasted a good roll.
So, essentially, you cast this stone of truth, and this, like, kind of wave of, like, kind of, like, sparkly, like, kind of yellow dust kind of essentially, like, hits everybody, and, the boy's story doesn't change.
You were right.
I just
I mean, I
like,
wanted you to be right.
okay. I've just been in a very similar situation. Not exactly, but kind of similar.
Oh yeah. I'm really sorry for saying you were in a cult. That was super insensitive of me. I mean, sometimes I just say what's on my mind, and it can be really mean. But I really did want to apologize, even though your mom was kind of mean to me. But whatever.
Thanks. you
What's the little
shouldn't.
boy doing?
He's just essentially just sitting there against the wall, still very much, like, happy yet shocked to be alive.
Eira's gonna walk over.
Eira's like, God damn it.
So he's sitting on the floor?
Yeah.
Okay. She's gonna sit on the floor, very close to him, facing the wall. Because I'm assuming he's facing out?
Yeah, he's kind of like, he like backed up against
Yeah.
like the wall.
She's not making eye contact, but she is speaking to him and only to him.
Like you sitting across from him?
Think like when someone has a power play and you're like facing outward and they walk up to you and they're speaking to you, but it's so quiet and it's just next to your ear that only you can hear it.
Okay.
It's like, Sarah, it's like,
Okay.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
she's sitting on the floor and it's because she's back up to just over a 30 HP, so she can move okay.
Yeah.
So she's like sitting on the floor. Tell me absolutely everything. Or you're gone
Okay.
with no trace to ever be found.
Roll an intimidation check.
guys, I think we're being really harsh on this kid.
Eliana also did not see anything that just happened to
yeah,
Eira.
she didn't.
Yeah.
So she has no idea. I don't trust any of you to give me what I need.
I feel like this is the first time I truly gave you all a moral dilemma, and it is very interesting to see how that all played out. Very interesting.
We are all different.
It is. All 4 different perspectives. It was wild.
It's going to be a 17.
So he says, well, yeah, I mean, I wasn't lying when I said that my dad kind of made me do all this. I've been essentially he kind of like goes into this whole story. Essentially kind of talking about that he really doesn't speak unless he's spoken to or has anything worth saying. And when he does, his words are carefully chosen. He's kind of different than other kids his age. He kind of watches, he listens, he absorbs kind of everything around him. He's tries to be polite and well-mannered, but he's not naive. He is grown up under the weight of his father's teaching. He's kind of learning of the fallen Mauryan Empire, the destiny of his people. Essentially, he kind of admits that he's Mauryan himself, or at least from that area or a descendant of it. He essentially talks about how he was always kind of told things by his father and essentially kind of just did what his father told him to do because he was afraid of what would happen if he didn't. And he didn't follow the same fanaticism that his father did. He embraces his Mauryan heritage, but not on that level, not on whatever it is that he was forced to do. Essentially, he even confesses that the only reason he participated in the whatever happened in that kind of place was because he was afraid that he would face the same fate if he hadn't. He talks about how his father is essentially what is known as a watcher. He is the Watcher of Luer, a high-ranking one at that. Typically, from what he was privy to, right? Like, there's not everything he doesn't know. Like, all of what his father did, he was only kind of knows what his father like has told him or what he's witnessed in certain situations. But his father would talk, and he mentioned of his father talking about a prophecy of Raylan's return. And essentially, that's all he knows.
Do I feel like everyone else kind of behind me? Because she's listening, but she's also like, I got fucking 4 broken ribs. Oh, it hurts to breathe. It's like, are other people also getting this?
I mean, I think, like, given the background he has, would essentially be paying attention.
Okay.
The other Harangons, as well as I would think the rest of you, depending on what you would want to be doing in this moment. So by all means, I would think you guys are either like looking around the room. I don't know kind of what you're feeling or what you'd be doing or what Eliana or Sable. So just what would you guys be doing?
Eira's not done. That's why I was asking. If
Yeah,
someone
I just
else
want to
caught
know where they are in the
Okay.
room, essentially. I don't need to necessarily go into full details, but
Verity's in like the farthest part of the room away from him.
okay.
I feel like Eliana's kind of trying to stick nearby to be like a comforting presence to the child.
that. You don't trust Eira not to kill him.
What about Sable?
No, she just feels
Doing
bad
the
for
same
him.
thing, but for Eira.
Okay. So essentially, yeah, like the other Harangons are essentially like looking around the room at the different bookcases. So Olana, Raj, and the twins are essentially like kind of investigating.
Mhm.
The rest of you are kind of in this, sitting kind of in that part. So you would feel essentially like a group of people around you or behind you.
She's gonna ask Kaylin, is there more information about this? She like looks up, like alluding to the building, the house,
The
whatever it
Athenium.
is. Yeah. Is there more information about this there?
No, if anything, it's down here. The Athenium is a place for people to bring knowledge and share it. And I can't say that there hasn't been some questionable people that have came through, but a lot of the times Dad would take some stuff down here and he would take notes in his notebooks, and some he would catalog on his shelves, but other times if it was something different, oftentimes they would speak in a form of Elvish that I didn't even understand. I never learned. As much as I tried, it just seems hard. And you get the feeling that he's talking about like the Marian, like Elvish language. And anytime that they would talk in that kind of, and he would take notes and stuff, that he would always bring it down here.
Well, your father's dead.
I
What's
figured.
the plan for you now?
I don't know. That's where
Eliana's like, I want to adopt him.
I'm gonna essentially he's gonna come back with me so that any other information that he has, any more that he hasn't already told, or at least we can keep it on record, can be given to the, and again he like pauses for a second, and the adventurers, and yeah.
When you're done, send him to my mother.
Okay.
There's an orphanage in the Port of Mar. I'll
I-
be provided for. Provided work, have a place to live.
It's going to be a bit of time because
That's
he's
fine.
got a lot to unpack given things, but
If the cult's gonna come after him at all for being a loose asset, he'll be protected there.
Please treat him gently.
I mean, he's been honest and forthright with us so far and cooperative. I mean, I don't see any need for excessive force at this point.
Sable's gonna walk up to the little boy,
Okay.
and she's gonna. Is he sitting or kneeling, or is he
He's
standing?
sitting. Yeah,
He's
it's
sitting.
actually
Okay.
kind of like,
She's gonna sit crisscross applesauce next to him,
okay.
and she's just gonna lean over. My parents died when I was 16.
Sable.
And I turned out great.
Okay.
You're gonna turn out just fine.
Cool.
Cool. Okay, cool. And she's gonna stand up and start walking the other way because now she's a little embarrassed. Thanks a lot, Eliana.
Is Jax there, like with Eira, because she wants to stand up, but I don't think she.
Yeah, he like kind of like helps. He's like not leaving your side,
Yeah.
essentially, given everything. So he kind of like helps you back up.
Is there a door? Is a door open? Is a door open?
No, a
Or
door
are we
hasn't been
trapped
found
underground
Did
forever?
I see anything with my detect magic?
yet.
That's
No.
true. You never.
10 minutes
Nope.
ago. Oh.
You sense magic in the room. There's in different places, and kind of the room seems to just be itself like engulfed in this aura of magic. But nothing of that would seem like a passageway or like that would lead to other places. Giving you the inference that if there is a door, it's amazingly more like mechanical versus like magical.
Is there gold on the bodies?
Oh yeah, we could raid the bodies.
Fair enough.
So do you all would like to now investigate the room?
Yeah, a girl would like to eat.
I'd like to check the books to see if any of them like.
Okay.
Eira's gonna investigate the bookcases.
Okay.
More specifically, the one she was thrown up against.
The
see
one that
if-
has no books on it?
Oh, did it have no books on it?
So no
The one,
books.
so you essentially were thrown onto it. Essentially, like you think about in
Yeah.
the movies when somebody gets thrown into a bookcase,
Mhm.
like the shelves break and all the books fall.
Yeah, she wants to look at those books.
Okay.
They're on the
I thought you were
ground.
going to look at the bookcase that was empty, so I didn't know what the. Okay,
No.
you're good. We're on the same
She's
page.
not doing that.
Same page now. Get it?
Oh my god. That was so good. Oh my God.
Just another one in the books, folks.
Put a crowd applause sound.
Just give it like the put a.
Yes.
So go ahead and roll for investigation.
Both of us.
You all, if you want to investigate, can do that.
Okay.
While this is happening, Eliana is still sitting down with the boy. And
14.
14. Jack's got an 18.
18.
Sorry,
18.
I can't find my. Oh,
It's in alphabetical order.
yeah, I just realized that right now. Come on. Okay, a 19.
19. Okay. So essentially, Jack's kind of he looks where the pieces of the arm from the Warforged are. He's kind of like looking in that area, and he finds something on the ground. It looks like a gauntlet. So essentially, like something that kind of like go like armor wise. And he essentially kind of like holds it, and he essentially kind of like puts tension on it, like kind of almost as if it would like close or like a muscle would flex, and you see it go like it like mechanically like pops open, essentially like a round like shield. And he kind of like lets go of the tension, and it like completely closes, essentially goes back to a gauntlet. And if you're making that face, it is very much the gauntlet from God of War with like the
Exactly
shield.
where I'm making the face.
God, such a good game.
So good.
Yeah, I found the item on the homebrews, and I was like, okay, sweet.
No, and I'm also making the face because
Jax just got
Jax is
stronger.
about to be even more powerful than he already is.
I don't know if that's possible.
So he
Paladin without a shield.
essentially he like grabs, he's like holding it in his
I don't have a
hand.
shield.
And look, he'll make you a shield.
And I think
We got
because again,
all
like
shields.
he's staying
Wood.
close by to where you are, because essentially where
Uh-huh.
that happened was near the books that you would
Yeah.
wanted to go look at anyway.
Yeah.
And you would notice that like he kind of does that in this like it's a loud mechanical like as it
Mhm.
pops open. And he looks at you and he says, "I can't use this."
I would figure that the gauntlet would be way too big for her arm.
Not necessarily. It's
like-
like adjustable. It looks as if it was like, because
New
again,
toy.
the arm was put back together, or it was like reforged essentially. So this is like part of that like assembly.
Mm.
It could have been something that was either adjustable or can be adjusted. Given if you take it to the right person, it can be adjusted so that you can wear it. Because you're right, it essentially for a Warforged
Yeah.
as far as size, but
Huge.
it does look as if it's not.
It could have some pieces popped out.
It's
and
not
then it would
Marian.
adjust
It's
down.
not old. It's something where it looks as if it was like crafted to do this.
Okay. She will respectfully take it. I don't know where she would put it. She would look for like her bag to put it in, and she'd be like, "Wait, who has all your?" She like panics for a second. She has no idea where he is because like she hasn't seen him. She doesn't have her box. Where's the box? The box in the hotel room. Was the box stolen?
He's in the box.
The box is in the hotel room.
Guys,
Safer there.
I
than
don't think
here.
we clarified whether we took it with us or not. I think Jax just had it, and we were like, "Okay."
I think.
Jax has it."
Well, I guess Jax would have it on his person, but he essentially like kept it safe given everything that he was doing. To,
so when
like,
she
break
freaks out,
through the
does he
ceiling.
give her the box?
Yeah, he gives you the box.
Okay. It's the box, dude. It's all your.
Yeah, I know.
Imagine if it was Gabe in this world.
No, we're just
How
walking around with a
inconsolable.
giant like pet carrier. For
Stella's
the
in
whole
the
rest
box
of the,
too.
It's the size of a pencil case.
Yeah. So he hands you back the box, and essentially like there's like he gives you essentially hands you like your bag and your bow and stuff like that. So it's like I guess I would think that like in the meantime he would have had like one of the Herringons hold it if it's like everything, and then like during the fight they would have like set it off to the side and then like kicked some ass and then like picked it back up, and then like
Okay.
gave it back to him to give to you or whatever.
Yeah.
Logistics, like
Yeah.
This isn't like
Matters.
I know, but it's not a video game. They can't just like the inventory
Roman
can't just
took
like
the bag of holding.
and then get a new one. I don't know. There are more than one bag of holding in this universe.
They cost a lot of money,
Yeah.
though.
You spend 1,000 gold on the little shell casing.
Worth it.
it.
Yeah, but it's reusable.
Yeah. Let's see if we can turn it into a bag of holding, I guess. Reduce, reuse, recycle.
Stella, hey, you can come out now.
And so like Cole and Stella and essentially Oyer kind of like come out of the box.
Mhm.
Just 3 animals like. "Broom, broom, broom, oh."
And essentially like Oyer, given the like experience, he's a little older. He's seeing these like 5 different like rabbits, essentially like larger
Yeah.
rabbits.
Well, he's met Tuxlop. He spent time with Tuxlop.
Yeah, but Tuxlop's a Tabaxi Herringon hybrid. Now he's
Mhm.
seeing full on like Herringons, and he's kind of like seeing these adventurers and kind of is a little bit more of like
could be
like
me.
starstruck. Yeah, like and Cole is like just happy to see Jax again, and Stella's happy to see Eliana.
No one clocks that Eira's like had her shit rocked.
I'm
mean-
just. I'm going to acknowledge it after, but I'm dealing with a child, and there's something very dramatic right now.
Through the investigation of everyone else, you have found some books that what can be deciphered that are at least in like common versus because a lot of these books are in like old Marian, so it's hard to decipher and understand even for you given everything.
Do I have a fundamental understanding? Like, if I were to
It's
try
like-
to read
it's
like
the
German right
same-
now, like
basic understanding, like knowing that like hola is hello in Spanish, like
so
it's
it's not nothing.
not nothing, but you can only make out
I
like
can read 2 words on this page.
yeah, 2 words essentially. But for some of the other ones, it talks about the eyes of Dendia have been operating in the essentially that's like their name. Because the kid told you that, like that's what they're called. That they've been operating in the Ware for some time. You basically get the gist that the Eyes of Dendia are kind of Marian fanatics focused on bringing about a new age for Marians. The other thing of note is there's what can be deciphered. It's very hard. You recognize Eira in some of the books you're looking on in this pile. You recognize the name Gallade Mountains, and what can be deciphered as something as far as what's called there's notes on essentially like 2 relics that the eyes of Dendia are searching for. One of which is said to be in the Gallade Mountains somewhere. That's essentially like the gist you gather from it. Because it shows like some like very, very basic like drawings of the area, not like a map to where to go, but just of that area that you recognize as like of your family's home or previous home, I should say. As well as some of the other things that like, Verity and some of the other Herangons kind of pick up that they would have communicated to each other is that there's a mention of operatives working amidst an airship port.
Why are you looking at us?
Why are you looking at me? Because I knew, because the moment I said it, I like looked around at you guys at the table and you started giving me a weird look. It's like, okay, this is what you found. I don't know.
We've only been to one airship port.
Have you?
Mm-hmm.
Where was that?
Technically 2, but there's only like Port of Mar and Bountifolia.
That's not exactly an airship port.
Port
I
of
think
Mar?
they were just airships.
They were just
Not like a port.
airships stopping at a space. Like
That's why I looked at you, because I was like, I'm not sure. I'm like, we've been on an airship, but I don't know about ports.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think anywhere a airship would dock would be considered a port.
But this is like the way it's speaking of it is
Oh, it's like a massive thing.
a space for like airships specifically, not just like not like a harbor where different types of ships can land and
Like,
come and
you
go
could-
or sail in.
You could land a ship on a beach, but that's not a port.
Facts. So this is something that seems like it's more dedicated to airships.
Okay.
The way it's like,
Well, we're taking it.
okay.
Anything. Any text that has relevant or seemingly relevant information. I don't care if it just has weather reports for the last 20 years. We're taking it. As much as we can carry.
Okay.
I swear to God, if we get outside and it just disintegrates.
Read it all now, just in case.
Essentially, after some time of investigating,
There's a kill switch that the boy hit that we didn't notice. He can't be trusted.
everybody pick a number 1 through 6.
8.
Okay.
Okay.
Oh my goodness.
All right. So,
Two.
do you wanna maybe meet in the middle and say like 4?
Sure.
All right. So Eira says 4. 3,
2.
6.
6. Okay.
8.
8.
Lucky number, guys.
I get it.
Who had 2?
Me.
Okay. So you essentially are looking at some of the books and you grab one and all of a sudden you hear ka-chunk.
I'm breaking something.
And you just all of a sudden started hearing this loud, like,
Someone help.
it's like the ticking of a clock.
That's not a clock. That's a bomb.
Or a door?
Okay.
You disarmed stuff, right,
Who
Verity?
picked 5?
No one.
No one picked 5?
So Jax picked 5.
Sure. Jax essentially, like, amidst that, had found one of the bookshelves to be able to, like, swing backwards and essentially, like, opens up a staircase. And at this moment, like, in this room, like, and you almost hear it, like, it's off in the distance. We gotta go now.
Okay.
And everybody starts to, like, kind of run out.
I take the child. I help the child up.
You help the child up, and you all essentially kind of scramble up this like staircase before like the entire like room behind you kind of like crumbles and caves in essentially.
We got the books, right? All carrying 30 pounds worth of books right now? Everybody? Every single person?
I didn't get books.
You are
you.
not.
Fuck you.
You essentially in this moment because again it was very split second like again happening kind of simultaneously. You only got the books that contained the knowledge that I described.
It's better than nothing.
Those 4 bits.
Did I get
Question.
any? Oh,
Mm-hmm.
Did Verity have enough time to grab her daggers that were just still laying on the ground?
They can't be that expensive if you gotta get a new
They
I
were,
dagger.
like,
just drew them,
nice.
DM.
What?
I just drew them, DM. Don't you take them away.
Take it away.
Yeah, you got your.
He's like, well, because of that.
No, I was just gonna mess with you. Yeah, you essentially I think you would have picked them up before you started like investigating.
Did
So,
I
like,
find any gold on the bodies? That was what I was looking for.
No.
You
Oh.
dang it. Any chance we can like dig them up?
And you are hearing, essentially like in like behind the wall, essentially. So it's like things are on fire, or like at least underground. So essentially, because it's under stone, it's not going to catch to the Athenium. But you guys are all now kind of in the Athenium, like in this like essentially this like passageway down below. It's not like all caved in and broken, full of rocks and stuff.
Now I feel really bad. Because I was going to ask the kid, even though his father was a dick, I was going to be like, do you want us to, like, bury your father or something? Like, you know, because, like...
I was gonna cast Speak with Dead
But,
on him.
his body's gone now.
You guys only had a limited time in that room. I set a timer the moment you started looking around.
Hey, Kaylin.
Yeah.
Do you have any favorite books you want to take from the Athenium?
Not really.
Okay. I just want to get out of here.
And Duxlop says, all right. And you didn't clock this at before, essentially, because you guys were all very much like looking around and tending to the boy and stuff like that. Tuxlop and Olana had recognized the body that was at the other end of the room. And essentially, like, there was a, like, you see that, like, Olana's, like, holding, like, what looks to be, like, a silver amulet in her hand. And Tuxlop says, all right, well, unfortunately, our lead, is no longer alive. So I guess that solves that. And he looks at Olana and he says, all right, you ready to go, boy? I guess. And I guess it's good that my dad is buried underneath. It's probably where he would have wanted to go.
I know it's still hard. I know he wasn't great to you from what you said, but I know it's still hard to lose a parent.
Yeah. I had already lost one before, so used to it.
You're gonna do great.
Thanks.
Well, I know that the Port of Mar will at least take care of you, if that's what you want. So.
And Tuxlop kind of like, he pulls out this like kind of teal kind of like gem, and he kind of like crushes it in his hand, and essentially like this like portal kind of opens up in the middle of the room.
Eira's gonna thank him before they go.
And the twins, Raj, Olana, kind of like go through it. And he says, you're welcome. It's good to see that you're all right. I'll give my regards to Killian.
Maybe one of these days I'll find myself in these situations and not need you to come save me from halfway across the realm. That'd be cool, right?
And he smirks and says, don't give yourself that much credit. I was already in the area anyway. And he kind of like heads off into the portal, and it kind of like shuts behind. And now Kaylin and the Herringons are gone. And it's just the 5 of you.
So, seems like a lot happened there.
Eira's gonna walk out of the
Okay.
Athenium.
Okay.
Verity will walk slowly after her.
She's gonna go. Eira's one-track mind is to go to. I'm gonna remember the name of it one day. One of these days, the Mangrove Sanctum.
Okay.
She's not necessarily seeking an audience with Nylea. She just wants to go somewhere she knows that, like, she's good. She's safe there.
Okay.
So.
Do any of you follow?
I'm going to give her space.
I would also think she looks like hell.
I mean, Jax, again, is like, you're essentially is like your human crutch at this point. It's like,
Yeah.
he's like keeping you, like, good.
Verity's gonna want to go back to the inn.
Okay. So do either of you go with Verity back to the inn?
Eliana is very conflicted right now.
Okay.
She's kind of just standing, like, looking around. Okay, we're gonna have to address that later.
Eira's gonna yell after Verity.
Mm-hmm.
Can you come with me?
Verity stops, looks at you. If you want me to, I can.
Please.
Nods her head, follows you.
And she waits for, like, Verity to, like, catch up. Shouldn't,
Okay.
like, keep walking.
And Jax, like, looks at Verity and essentially, like, kind of lifts Eira's arm and kind of puts it, like, onto Verity. And he kind of is like, if you guys are good, I'm going to make sure they're fine.
I got her.
And he kind of, essentially, there's a weird silence from Jax as he walks away.
I hate that, but okay, it's fine, whatever.
And so he comes back to the 2 of you. Now in the Athenium.
Can we feel that his like vibes off?
I mean, he comes back in, you don't feel that vibe.
So, I don't know about you, Jax, but I don't think any of that was okay.
Second appearance. Let's go.
Beanie!
My bean! Hi, baby.
Okay, I'm doing its work today. Say that again.
I don't
Distracted by cats.
I don't know about you, but I don't think any of what just happened was okay.
Oh, I agree. I'm just glad she's all right.
Yeah. Baby's over here now. I know Eira was in a lot of danger, obviously, especially with her Mari and stuff. I don't know to what extent because we weren't there for that. But she seems to be going through a lot. But I am also very concerned that one of our people tried to kill a child.
Yeah. I'm not going to get into that right now.
Okay.
I'm a pretty good listener if you wanted to vent it out. Fucking Sable.
And Jax very much is like, you two going to be good?
Are you gonna be good?
I'm not worried about me. I'm worried
Sable
I'm worried
always
about
deflect?
this.
But like, I know that you don't like me very much, but that's your like lady. So like, if you wanted to vent it out, I'm here too.
I did what I needed to do. I'm good.
Never seen you turn into something so big before.
That was cool.
Yeah, trust me. I can only kind of do that like once in a while. And he kind of like cracks his neck, and he's like, "It's not easy.
Oh.
Things that are that much bigger than me, it kind of." And he kind of like you see, he's like kind of like almost like he's uncomfortable in his own skin. It's like kind of stretches some things out for a little while. And
What do you?
I mean, it's the physiology of a changeling. I mean, you think about it, if he had to like expand that far and then come back, like.
Nice.
What do you think? They're okay?
Bonk.
Forgive me.
Jesus Christ.
When I laugh, I can't see. So
Yeah. You're losing it over there.
just a little. It's okay. I got the giggles.
You think they're okay? Like that they're safe? I mean, we kind of just...
Yeah.
We don't know if there's backup.
They have each other.
Okay. Yeah, I'm going to have to talk to Verity.
Somebody's got to.
She followed an order.
And
You're not there.
are you good?
Did I do good?
I mean, you healed one of us, so yeah, that was pretty good.
One.
Anna, yeah, at the end you did give us a
It's
little
like a
bit.
group.
I forgot though. She did a mass heal. You healed. Yeah, you did good.
I mean, you healed everybody,
Mm-hmm.
but you fucked everybody up with ice. So I guess it balances
Balanced.
each other out.
But was it player saying like prove yourself, or was it?
That was.
Oh, it wasn't
Yeah,
Eliana.
that was-
That's why Sable's like, did I do a good job?
Oh.
That was Allie.
Okay, never mind. Oh my
Yeah,
gosh.
no.
I mean, last time when we literally fought Thanatura. I was trying to avoid hurting us, and it seemed to go worse. So I was like, well, I guess I'll pull out the big guns. So
Maybe find a happy medium.
I'm trying, Jax. It's kind of hard.
Yeah.
I need to go to bed again.
There's probably a sweet spot in the middle there. I don't know much about druids, but sure there's something there.
Sometimes there's just so much power behind my spells, I can't really control all of it.
I mean, that's pretty cool in itself.
Thanks.
Nice brag.
What?
Nice brag, he said. It was funny.
I'm so strong. I'm sorry. I just hurt everybody around me. It's like such a brood. Like
Sometimes, these area effects, they got a big area. It's so hard not to hurt people sometimes. But then I feel so useless if I don't use them.
again, like I said, I'm sure there's probably a happy medium.
Yeah. Well, I'm gonna go meditate, I guess, back at the inn, because I have a lot to think about,
Okay.
a lot to rest on. Okay. Hey, Stella.
Are we going back to the inn?
I am. Do you want to go back to the inn? Or did you need alcohol?
I'm good.
Okay.
I probably might just walk around for a little bit.
Okay, I'm like really glad to hear you don't use that to like mess with your problems. Like to fix them, because it will. But anyway.
No, a lot of people in this group sometimes do that. That's not,
Oh,
Yeah, I was a little worried about one of our she's gone now.
aw. Well,
I miss her.
I'm sure she was awesome.
I hope she doesn't. I hope she has someone that can either stop her from drinking too much, or like she just like chooses not to drink too much while she's gone. Because she seems a little bit out of control sometimes, but that's okay, I guess.
different strokes for different folks.
Okay, well, I'm gonna go to bed again.
Okay. So he essentially like escorts you guys back to the inn and kind of stays like outside, kind of just like walks around for a little while. So you two heading back to the Mangrove Sanctum.
Mhm.
Essentially, had you been to the Mangrove Sanctum before? Did you go
Mm-mm.
with her before? Okay, so you're
Eira went
seeing all
alone.
of this for the first time, essentially. And again, then it's pretty much much like a lot of the temples in the city, essentially kind of, I wouldn't say like 24/7 operating hours, but essentially they have like things for people who, like refugees and things like that, like they need to in the middle of the night and stuff. So you have access to the temple. There's kind of not as much as like going on as before, but essentially you kind of make it there and make it inside the large tree. And
There's a water fixture inside, right?
yeah,
Remember that?
there's
I'm not
it's
imagining that.
it's essentially like the tree's massive. It kind of has like swampy waters like below it. It's like, so it's kind of like raised platform kind of stuff over top of like swamp part of the waters.
Are there benches and stuff to kind of overlook that?
I would think so. I would think
Okay.
that there's like things to look outside onto it, considering that this is a place for like nature protection, water, and like all those different kinds of deities.
Eira's gonna kind of like lead, in a manner of speaking, lead over to a bench to sit down.
Okay.
Verity doesn't fight her on it.
Okay.
And Eira's gonna let the moment just exist
Okay.
for a few minutes, just kind of sit in silence. She's thinking through like a lot of like all of that, but then she also is like hyper aware that like where Verity is, because Verity only gets quiet like this under one circumstance.
Okay.
So Eira's looking out over. She's not looking at you. But she will say to you, "You followed an order."
Not this time.
I gave the order.
And she starts to cry,
How close are you sitting to Eira?
like right next to you.
She like puts her arm around whatever side Verity and like brings her like in and lets her just be.
Okay.
I broke my promise to myself. I killed another child.
I gave the order because what's to say he's not going to come for me again later?
It was still my decision in the end. I said I would never do it again, and I did it.
Does that change anything with your deal?
Just stays quiet.
So I'm going to take the silence as a no.
They said that that maybe I preferred the old pact.
Do you?
Shakes her head no.
What's stopping you from doing what you've always done? Pushing back.
I don't know anymore.
You don't know what's stopping you?
I just don't know what to think.
If the roles were reversed, I wouldn't have hesitated. And she delivers that in ice cold.
I'm not you, though.
You're going to walk this path, you've got to toughen up or go back home. From what I gathered, you got a pretty soft cushion to land on if you want to go back home. Seems nice.
No matter where I go, the pack's gonna follow me.
Shrugged her shoulders, like, I don't know what you want me to do about that. I can't undo that.
don't know if I can fight it, Eira.
Fight what?
The pact. Because it's more than just me.
I mean, has he told you you have to go back to the original deal?
No.
So why are you assuming? He is an ass, but why are you assuming?
What I'm trying to say is I think it's bigger than just me.
I'm not following.
What if one of the reasons that Erebus wouldn't let my mother out of the pack is because of my father?
Did Eira know this?
Yes.
Yes, okay. Okay. And do you think he's alive?
Patron says he is.
Do you believe the patron?
I do.
So where would he be? Your father, not the patron.
Wherever he is, and she does like air quotes with one hand, I'll see him soon.
Well, that sounds ominous.
Always is with this thing.
Well, I need you to not
Be depressed.
burden yourself with this specific thing. Because at the end of the day, and I will die on this hill, I gave the order. From what I gathered and what I witnessed is you hesitated until I gave the order. So if the kid's blood's in anyone's hands, it's mine.
I just can't accept that.
Well, that's not a me problem to solve.
Verity's gonna still sit next to you, but she's gonna kind of pull away a little bit.
And just like sit back up.
Mm-hmm.
And I would think Awyer's like flying around this space.
Mm-hmm.
Probably enjoying himself. Because mom never lets him out.
Cam number 3. Go ahead
I'm
and
obsessed with you. I need you to understand how much I love you. Like, I need you to get it.
with your passive perception of 18.
Yep.
I need you to make. So you're going to make an insight check on yourself, essentially, with what I'm going to try to. I'm kind of trying to allude to.
Okay.
Go ahead.
13.
With the 13 and giving you like your passives. With the way you're speaking about it, kind of talking to Verity in the moment, kind of very, very quickly following after you've said that the blood is on your hands.
Mhm.
A soft breeze kind of like blows through the air.
The light's
And
going to turn green.
what's normally similar to that of what you've witnessed and kind of heard of Eliana dealing with before. The normal connection to the weave and who you follow feels just a little colder. Because, and this is something that you begin to slowly reflect and realize as you're kind of sitting there with Verity in this moment. You gave her the order to hurt that child. And essentially, you broke your oath. You had her hunt for hunting's sake, not to protect, because he surrendered, and you still had her cut him down anyway.
But that's not hunting.
Exactly. You just had her kill for the sake of killing. He was not fighting.
I think she'd push back on that, but okay.
You're not fully oath broken, but there is a little bit of a disconnect that you're starting to feel. And with that, we're going to take a short break. We'll see you again soon after the break. Stay tuned.
Hello, Ali G here from Off the Beaten Quest. I just wanted to let you guys know that this month, for Pride Month, we are raising funds for the charity The Trevor Project. As a part of the LGBTQ plus community, I think The Trevor Project is doing a lot of great work because they are, first of all, the only suicide prevention hotline for LGBTQ individuals. The Trevor Project helps allocate research to certain things to help out the LGBTQ plus community. It helps us advocate for ourselves in legislation that helps control our rights, things like that. They also help educate people who may not necessarily be a part of the LGBTQ community, but have friends or family who are looking to just learn more about the community itself and how to advocate for the people they care about. The Trevor Project also has certain resources available on their website at all times, so if you ever have any questions, are unsure about what certain things mean, where you can find resources, you can go to their website and they link a whole bunch of different organizations. A lot of them are local and you can find particularly where you live and what kind of resources you have available to you as well. Throughout this month, Off the Beaten Quest is trying to raise $250 for the Trevor Project as small creators, and if we reach that goal, we would like to boost that as much as we can, so we rely on you guys for that support to come out and help the LGBTQ plus community. We will be fundraising throughout the entirety of June, so at any time throughout this month, you can throw in a donation our way. And if you cannot donate, you can look for resources on the Trevor Project site as well for how to advocate for those in the community as well. Thank you so much.
Oh, hey, didn't see you there. Well, now that you're here, just wanted to say thank you so much for joining us on this journey so far with us here at Off the Beaten Quest. You're going to start noticing a lot of new things on our Twitch channel now that we are affiliate. You will see a lot of cool emotes designed by our very own Caroline, as well as a lot of other things that we do have in the works. Definitely hit that follow button, or maybe even subscribe so we can bring you a lot more. And do remember, if you are an Amazon Prime member, you can use your 1 month free sub. If you're watching on YouTube, consider liking, subscribing, and hitting the notification button so the YouTube algorithm gods will share this video with a lot of other people like you. Thank you so much again. My name is Justin Fussell. I am the Game Master for Off the Beaten Quest. Outside of being the Game Master, I do a lot of writing, world building, filmmaking. Me and my wife, we run Imagistorm Productions together. Yeah, it's been a lot of fun just incorporating a lot of the world building and writing that I do into this, building this campaign overall. It's been really interesting to kind of take the filmmaking background and kind of apply it to being a game master, because essentially a lot of like the players are the actors and you're setting scenes and you kind of just let them freeform in the space versus just any like preconceived dialogue. So it's a lot of fun just to kind of see, you put the situations in their hands and just kind of see what they come up with. I enjoy playing D&D with this group because they're like my found family. It's been, I love everybody that sits at this table. It's been a lot of fun to just be able to kind of build this world with them together. A lot of the way I incorporate this with a lot of the players and the story and stuff has been a lot of collaboration, seeing how their stories intertwine with what I have planned and vice versa. It's going to be a very interesting to see how the people receive everybody. Everybody's got its own different flair, and the way that this team is made up of very colorful characters, I think everybody's going to love them. They're going to find something to laugh with and have fun with, and it's going to be really good. In the campaign, I play a lot of the different NPCs, of course, but the main one that I play is Jax. He's a fighter monk druid. And he came from a tribe of changelings that existed in the Fey realm and kind of had some backstories with different things and different interconnected characters. He's become a love interest and boyfriend of Eira's character. And if you want to know more about Jax's backstory and kind of how it's interconnected with the whole story, you can always check out the prologue. I chose to do a homebrew setting versus an existing campaign just because it was something where I could kind of really just expand and create a universe. I wanted to have something that I can build upon. I honestly like to be able to throw twists and stuff at the players. I think that's the biggest thing I think is really fun. There's a lot of ideas of what's going to happen, where things are going to go. Just as much as they can improv in a setting, I can do the same, and it kind of allows for a lot of really good back and forth. Definitely, if you've checked the prologue, there are some things that happen in episode 62 that is a little bit of an Easter egg that even the players haven't figured out yet, which has been really nice. But it's going to come back around eventually, and it's going to be a really big aha moment. But I think that's one of the biggest things to look out for. It'll be a very blink and you'll miss it kind of moment. But other than that, just being really on the lookout for a lot of just the backstory and the things and how this is going to be building up to as we get into the next arc of the campaign. So they can find us on any of the major podcasting platforms, as well as our social medias and Twitch and our YouTube.
My name is Allie Goodell, and I am part of the filmmaking team on this podcast. I record all of the video for the intro, for us playing, things like that. I went to college for film, and I'm actually very interested in getting to do more with that. So this is a really good experience for me to start experimenting with my film cameras and all the equipment that I have. I feel like at first, when I started with this project, there was a lot of push and pull because I, as a person, like to hover and be involved with everything. So trying to work as a team has been very much a learning experience and learning when to step back and put myself in. So it's been interesting figuring out the dynamic, but I'm having a really good time, and learning how to do this all for the first time, really putting together a podcast, has been fun and interesting. I really like playing D&D with this group because it's not just playing D&D. I feel like I'm part of a big family. Every time that we play, we have a dinner together and we kind of just hang out a little bit, and we have a little break session and we get little desserts, and it's just like, you know, hanging out with mom and dad and the siblings. Allie F and Justin F are kind of the mom and dad of the group, and I love them so much, and I have a great time with everyone. It just really feels like a family here. I feel like this campaign has very great homebrew essences. I feel like they would love Bountifolia especially. That's one of the most interesting islands we've been to so far. I feel like there's a lot of life to this campaign and the world building, and I think people are going to be very interested in what kinds of different places and NPCs that Justin creates for the campaign. You can find us at Off the Beaten Quest on all podcast platforms, as well as Twitch and YouTube, and you can also find us on our social medias.
Hi, I'm Allie Fussell. I am doing all of the marketing, project management, keeping everyone on track to get Off the Beaten Quest out into the world. For me, I got to work again with my amazing husband on this project. He is the world builder in this incredible world, so being able to work closely with him to bring his vision out to the world, in addition to being able to collaborate with our friends, it's been such a fun project for me, and also being able to flex all of my skills that I have from my day job in this as well, to push this project out has been a lot of fun. Honestly, one of the things that is the most fun about it is hosting everyone every week. We do play in our home, and one of my favorite things is being able to make dinner and also bake something from scratch for our players every week, and just having that time with them before and during our breaks, during sessions as well. And also, these people are our friends. They are my closest friends. So being able to have this experience with them, not only just playing the game, but also being able to share it with the world, has been absolutely amazing. I think the audience is going to really enjoy the campaign. It has all of the classic elements of a D&D campaign with our own spin, with our diverse cast of characters. You can find us on all major podcast streaming platforms, in addition to YouTube and Twitch, and all social media, which is linked in the caption right down here.
Hi, my name is Caroline Daher, and I am the in-house artist for the podcast. Outside of being a player, I like long walks on the beach and chasing waterfalls, but in reality, I'm a student for psychobiology, which is just a big fancy word for saying I like how thoughts and emotions are combined with how our bodies work in our body's biology. It's been wonderful finding my place in the team just by doing their character art or proof checking some of the episodes before they release. And I'm really excited to kind of continue to grow with them and be where they need me to be, and for the extra opportunities to do even more artistic things. What I enjoy most about playing D&D with this group and just the whole dynamic in general is that Justin, our DM, puts so much thought and care into creating this adventure for us. I think he genuinely gets a kick out of keeping us on our toes, and I love seeing that, not only for myself as a player, but for everyone else that is a player in the campaign as well. Allie F is kind of like the anchor of the group. She is the one that makes us food and has little treats, and then she also kind of makes everyone feel comfortable coming into this space because they're hosting us in their home. And I know it's a little cliche to say it's like a family, but it really is like a family, and that's, I think, what makes it so special. As far as what the audience is going to think about the campaign, I feel that they're going to love it because it has the perfect balance of drama and humor and sadness, and it's just so balanced that there's nothing that anyone could dislike. You can find us here on all major podcasting platforms as well as YouTube and Twitch, and check out our socials linked below.
Hello, my name is Sarah Matlack. I'm kind of a flex role, and so I kind of jump from task to task, just wherever people need me, I'm there. It's been a lot of fun getting to work with everyone from various different backgrounds and personalities too. Getting to come together and create something magical, I feel like, is rare nowadays, especially with this much inspiration that just comes from each other, and we get to kind of almost feed off of each other and kind of help each other out in that way, which is a lot of fun. I love the bits and how they keep circling back with basically every session. There's a couple that Lukiel and Dawn do throughout the sessions, and the bits, just the absolute laughter that comes with this group is what keeps me coming back. I think they're gonna have an absolute blast. Again, going back to the bits and the total chaos that comes from this group, it honestly surprises me every time, which is hard to do. You can find us on all major podcasting platforms, including our Twitch, YouTube, and other social medias.
All right, we are back. All right, so you guys are at the Mangrove Sanctum. How are you guys going to proceed?
Eira is not going to acknowledge to Verity what she just
You
like
just felt.
sensed. Yeah.
Okay.
Verity's there to support you, so she'll sit there with you until you're ready to go.
Okay.
What are Eliana and Sable doing? I.e., I would like time to make a decision.
Okay. So back at the inn, you guys get back there. Do you go straight to your rooms? Like, what do you guys do? Essentially, once you get back to the
I
tavern
guess I'll
and inn.
buy myself a room.
So you're going to get a separate room.
Yeah,
for
because like
everybody.
you're sharing with me and
You.
Verity, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I don't know if I want to spend the night with Verity. Wait a minute.
I mean, the decision
Don't
is
be
yours.
a bully.
She almost killed a child.
Seek to understand, Eliana.
I'm gonna.
Yeah, don't ruin the synergy.
Yeah. What is happening?
Anyway, so if you would so like to get your own
Do
rooms.
I see you buying a room?
Yes.
Yes.
Sable.
Yeah.
Can we share these?
Yeah. I would love that. I do have to sleep like a very long time though. So like
Okay, I'll be quiet.
no, you don't have to be quiet at all.
Okay.
Okay.
She sleeps like the dead.
I just have some I just have to talk to Verity at some point. I feel like I don't want it to be like really awkward when
Mhm.
like she comes back and I'm meditating and then it's like,
That makes sense.
yeah.
But like what are you feeling?
I mean, I'm a little freaked out that we kind of just decided that it was okay to kill a kid who, like, he was in the cult, but like his dad forced him into it, so it wasn't really his fault.
I mean,
And he also surrendered,
that is
and then she went to stab him.
I mean, I don't know much about Verity, but I do know that like she was really nice. Like she was nice to me when your mom was kind of mean to me. So I just feel like
yeah,
give her the benefit
you
of the
didn't
doubt.
deserve that. My mom was kind of mean.
That's
like,
okay. That's okay.
No,
Okay, yeah, it was sucked, but it's okay. In the
I'm sorry.
I'm sorry too. But
Well, I guess it's an example of like, your parents can be kind of bad, but
you turn out all right.
Yeah.
Like what we told the kid.
Yeah, I hope he's okay.
He's gonna do just fine. And the more you say it to yourself, the more you have to believe it.
I don't think that's true. Well,
Hi, Jax.
Oh, he's not there.
Oh,
He's walking around the city.
Oh, that's right,
now.
that's right,
He's
that's right.
not-
are we ready?
how much is it for the room?
I'll say it's just like a gold. So it's not that crazy.
Me take away gold. I got it.
Okay.
Essentially, you rent a room
Going up.
and go up to the room.
Yeah.
Okay. So now, again, these rooms are pretty standard. They have like the bed, some like small little furnitures, things for people to like an armoire for people to put like clothes and things like their gear and things like that. Small like wash basin to like wash your face, things like that.
I mean, you can have the bed, and then I can turn into like something small and curl up on the edge of the bed.
Oh,
so
I don't
take
want you
up
to
the
have
bed.
to be an animal to.
Sometimes it's nice. It's kind of comforting
Okay,
sometimes.
if you want.
Okay.
I mean, that works for me. Wait, what kind of animals can you turn into?
So I can turn it. So, like at the start of the day,
Mm-hmm.
I kind of meditate, like during my meditation throughout the night and into the morning, I kind of decide I get 8 animals I can turn into, and I can change it every day. Right now I got dire wolf, I got spider, I got badger, I got an eagle, and I haven't decided on the other ones yet because this is Allie and I haven't programmed them.
How big is your spider? Can it make?
Just a small spider.
I
mean, I could also make like 2 of my wild shapes a spider, but one like a small spider, like a regular spider, and then one like a gigantic spider.
I'm just wondering, like, could you make like a cool canopy with the spider web?
I've never tried.
Then we'd get to sleep literally like princesses.
I'm
Like-
gonna turn into a big spider.
A big spider?
A big spider, and I'm gonna spin this a web canopy.
Over the bed.
I'm gonna make a decision.
Jax fell from 550 feet and didn't take damage.
This is also a tiny room in a tavern.
Can I make a web canopy?
Just a web canopy.
The spider's too big to fit.
Oh.
Spider's name in Harry Potter.
It's a giant spider. There's not a medium spider. It's either a tiny little normal spider or a giant ass spider.
Or like Aragog.
Well, technically like a giant spider. If it was like our size, that would be a giant spider in comparison to a regular spider.
We have all played Baldur's Gate. We know that that's not the truth. So don't try to spin this one.
Giant spider.
Oh.
This is like a 10 by 10 room.
Change back.
Yeah, say your guys are like breaking furniture, squeezing, like it's like putting a watermelon into a sock drawer. Like,
Okay.
What?
Never mind. I'll just go bed.
There's some big sock drawers out there.
there are.
I'm just gonna go bed.
Okay.
I'm gonna turn into a cat.
Aw.
This is gonna be one of my wild shapes. I'm gonna go bed.
Okay. I'm going to bed as well.
I mean, you could have said you turned into a normal spider and it just would have taken you a little while.
Yeah, that would have taken like 5 hours.
You only need to sleep for 4, so.
Not me.
I know. So you would have woken up and it would have been there and you would have been super great. But you know.
What if we made our own canopy?
Bed sheets.
Yeah, unless you have like some kind of
Blanket
net.
fort.
Okay, let's make a blanket fort.
Okay.
I'll lighten the mood.
Because I wasn't saying no. I was just saying not that way.
You did say no.
Like
You said I was
not
too
that
big.
way.
I was too big.
Listen.
You know what we could do? Next time, because the spider is so freaking gigantic,
Yeah.
but adorable. I love spiders. Anyway,
Okay.
we can make hammocks outside in the trees.
That would be cool.
That would be pretty cool. And you could make it for everyone.
You know, I've actually made a hammock before in the trees with my friend. Eliana starts crying because she's thinking of Dawn. Back with the fucking direwolves.
Sable feels bad because everyone is sad.
So, to clarify for druids,
Yeah.
when they turn into a spider, it's considered a tiny beast,
Yeah.
which is 2.5 feet in diameter. So it's not like a little guy.
2.5
2.5 feet is like this long.
feet?
Yeah,
I don't.
2.5 feet in
I think
diameter.
that just means the area like it takes up, like, you know, like in a battle map where it's just like 5
Nope,
feet.
it says its torso size is from 6 inches to 8.5 with legs.
Yeah, 6 inches. Like, oh.
Yeah.
That's
oh.
fucking big spider. What the fuck?
So again,
Wait, so when Eliana transformed into the spider on the ship to Bevel,
yeah, it was.
it was
It was a tiny beast.
I'd like to think that a spider is a spider.
It's
like
not,
the
I
size of a
guess.
spider.
So, did you ever play a druid in Baldur's Gate?
No.
When you do, you turn into a spider, and it's like the size of a dog.
Why is everything
Yeah.
Baldur's Gate? I'm just thinking of a regular spider in life.
But that's
wanna be
but the wild
squishable.
shape, like I said, the wild shape is considered when you turn into a spider. It's considered a tiny beast, meaning it's about 2.5 feet in diameter, with a torso size of 6 inches to 8.5 inches, with at least with legs at least 1 foot long.
So you're telling me whenever I turn into a spider now, I'm not going to be a regular house spider?
No,
Nope.
you're the size of like a couch cushion.
Okay, well, a fly is also a tiny beast.
gosh,
I'm just saying, if I need to fit into small spaces,
But is
Gotta
that
be
I
one of
better
the,
be
but
able to
is that,
do
is that
that.
a druid wild shape, a fly?
I can turn into any, like, if it's challenge 1 or below.
Okay.
There's any, yeah.
Yeah,
They're
you're
like
just-
a level 0.
You're just big bugs. It's gonna freak people out. But
Okay.
I'm saying, so in theory, if you wanted to turn into a normal spider,
Yeah.
you could potentially pull this off. Because it's not necessarily a
I've given up on the canopy.
Okay.
okay.
I'm making a bed for it. Now I'm just confused about the size of spiders in D&D. Because that seems really fucking big for a regular ass spider.
Listen. You want to argue logistics? We can go logistics. We can go round for round. I'm saying it's right there,
I'm
black
just
and white.
like, that's huge.
I know
Yeah.
nothing
Anyway,
about D&D.
we're making a canopy out of bed sheets.
Okay,
And I'm thinking about Dawn and I'm
it's called a
crying.
yes and, not a no. It's a no but. You know, no, but you could turn into a normal spider, which is this size.
Did your friend die?
No, she just left.
Oh, so she could come back?
Yeah, she didn't really seem to be up for adventuring and doing all this stuff, which I
Aw.
understand, I guess. It's a lot.
Yeah, you want to force someone into it.
Yeah.
I mean, unless you force someone into it, then.
no.
Oh, okay. I'm learning morals.
Yeah, I think we could all learn some morals.
Yeah.
Interesting
taking
group to
my
learn
time.
them from.
Anyway.
Okay, so you make your canopy.
Yeah.
You saddle up for your long rests.
I'm going
8 hours.
Going 8 hours.
Yeah.
8 hours in the cut. All right. So back at the the Mangrove Sanctum, what are you guys doing and or deciding?
Do you want to head back?
Yes.
And she like whistles out to all your.
Okay.
I guess I just head back.
Okay. You guys head back to the inn.
Would she have been able to like? Would that have been like a short rest to get a little more kind of energy back to support herself on the way back?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
You guys were there for a little while. Okay. So you make it back to the inn. What are you guys going to do when you get there?
Mm-hmm.
All right, do you need me to take you up to your room? Do you need help? Or do you think you got it from here?
We're all on the same floor, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
It's coming from you a lot. We talked about the noises, the breathing in the mic. I'm like listening for it now, and every time I see it, it's like Eira's like right here.
I don't have to speak if I let my breath do it for me. I mean, I should be good.
Okay. Mary's gonna go up to the like counter or whatever.
Okay.
Because I made this decision before break. Verity's going to get a different room.
Okay.
This is comedy gold.
So the room essentially that you both were sharing is now
Empty.
basically vacant for whoever, and you are picking a different room. Okay.
Yeah, she doesn't know it though.
That's fair. That's fair. You guys wouldn't.
Just pay for 2 rooms without knowing.
Okay. So, I mean, I feel like you would have settled the other one and then just like gotten the new one.
Yeah, but she doesn't know if Eliana's in there or not.
Oh, I mean, yeah,
So she wouldn't like just
that's fair.
give it back.
Who initially bought the room? Was it you or Eliana?
To be honest, I don't think we discussed that. I haven't taken any gold out.
Yeah.
I don't think we've settled in the rooms.
Yeah. No. So I'm just like thinking about like when they first initially went and got the rooms together.
I don't
like
think we've settled up on
pair.
that.
I'm just trying to remember who was the one that initiated that conversation.
I think it was me. I asked Eliana if she wanted to sleep in the same room as me.
Okay. Okay. So yeah. Okay. So you essentially get 2 different rooms. I mean, you still have the same room you had before. So.
Yeah, and she goes back there. There's not.
Um.
I don't think there's anything weird going on with Jax. If there is, it's gonna get loud fast.
So you get to your room, you take out a gold out of your inventory. You go back to the room and he's not there. Or he at least hasn't made it back yet.
She's gonna go look for him.
Okay. You're gonna hobble around the city and
She'll at least go sit downstairs,
okay.
like facing the door.
Okay. So you go up to your room.
Yeah, I think Verity being upset with herself will just throw her daggers in one of the, like, if there's any drawers, just throw them in there.
Okay.
Just out of sight, out of mind.
Fair enough.
And then I think she's going to attempt to meditate
Okay.
and try to reach out to Erebus.
Okay. Okay. So you kind of like clear your mind. And you kind of sit down to meditate. And after a while, you essentially are able to kind of reach this like calm state. And you kind of veer to this kind of like dark, kind of void like expanse. And essentially each step kind of echoes as you walk through. And after a moment, you kind of hear like the footsteps kind of approaching from the distance, kind of like not the echo of yours, but just like kind of a different rhythm. As like the voices begin to like kind of swirl in this space, and it's almost as if like the voices are kind of blending in with his voice. And he says, "To what do I owe the pleasure?"
So what's it gonna be? Old pact, new pact, what? Where do we go from here?
I mean, I don't... We renegotiated the deal. I just felt the need to add colorful commentary.
Well, wasn't appreciated.
Oh, there he is. There's the boy. Got him. Sorry. Can't break. You're causing me to break scene.
I bet Erebus just saying that. It just a little shadow kitty just goes across the the void.
Focus box, DM.
That's fine. You can do that.
Focus box.
Well, he was about to get in her stuff. You want to do that? He says, "What you failed to remember is that you and I are intertwined. So whenever you make a silly little promise to yourself, I'm aware of it. When you make a decision, I'm aware of it. Those you choose to ally with versus oppose, I'm there. I know. And I mean, we're friends, after all. Who would I be if I weren't to call you out when you break something you vowed to never do? We had a new agreement, did we not? I thought we were turning over a new leaf. And yet here we are.
Guess I'm just here for clarification.
I think you're the one that needs to clarify at this point. Because how do you think your friends are going to feel? How do you think they feel now? Given, I mean, if anything, they saw the old Verity. They saw the person that you don't want them to see you as. Now they're just as scared as ever. Is that what you wanted?
She remained silent.
Because I guess the better question is, what do you really want? And please, for God's sakes, do not say the obvious answer. The pact is an agreement or contractually bound. But really ask yourself, what do you want? Who do you want to be known as? Because together we could be great. Yet at every turn you fight. Go against the grain. And I've just done everything to try to keep things frictionless as much as possible. I mean, hell, I even agreed to take the souls of the people that were inherently wicked you wouldn't have had to kill an innocent person at all. And yet somehow, that's still not good enough. That's still not content with Verity Belladonna. You can see how I'm stuck and at a loss. I try to meet you in the middle. And then... Because, hey, trust me, I'm happy with whatever souls I get. Trust me, but... I wasn't going to go back on my word. That's why I left the kid's soul alone. I guess the big thing is to ask is... Are you one of your word?
Verity's gonna pull out. Or attempt to.
Of the meditation? Okay. And as you kind of pull out of this meditation to kind of fade away, you hear as he kind of cuts away, he says, I'll be here when you need me. And it kind of goes back to this wake back up in the room of the inn.
Verity kind of rubs her eyes, just trying to get out of the funk that she's in. And she's gonna get a drink.
So you go downstairs and go to the bar, okay? So as you make your way back downstairs and you head over to the bar, you see Eira waiting, kind of staring towards the door at one of the tables in the inn. Or, in the tavern part of the inn. Do you acknowledge each other or just kind of stay separate?
Verity nods to Eira.
Oh yeah, I see her. Okay.
I already indicated that you saw each other.
Well, I want to make sure. She could be
You have a
lost in thought.
You have a passive of 18, so
Well.
It's hard to miss things. But again, you're not wrong, and you'd be surprised.
Yeah, she nods back. She nods back.
Okay.
Verity continues to the bar.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I know. Okay. So go ahead. Sorry.
I think Eira is drinking a concoction of herbal tea.
Okay.
She doesn't know what she's drinking. She doesn't know if it's going to help. But Eliana makes good herbal teas, but she's confused because whatever the hell she's drinking does not taste good. It just tastes like tea, like grass water.
Yeah.
So.
Okay. I mean, some time passes. You're kind of sitting at the table or at the bar. You get one drink, but do you continue to drink? Or do you just have the one drink and try to get it to be a nightcap to go to sleep?
Probably enough to
You're not there. Sable.
Verity will have 2 drinks and then head
Okay.
up.
Okay. Essentially, Eira notices, after a little while that, Verity goes back upstairs.
Mhm.
But yet still no sign of Jax.
All right. Well, keep waiting.
Okay. Essentially, sunrise comes and you essentially had fallen asleep kind of in the tavern.
Mhm.
At the table, and you come to as some patrons are coming in for the morning or coming downstairs for breakfast and stuff like that. I mean, there's still no sign of Jax.
He's been kidnapped.
I mean, yeah, all things considered, it's probably safe to assume that, but I mean, I guess you won't know until you know.
Do I know where any of their rooms are?
Not that since they changed all of them.
You know the old one.
I say you know the old ones and stuff. So essentially, it could be just be a waiting game essentially until people come down for the morning, like for the breakfast and stuff.
She's just gonna go outside.
Okay.
Look around.
So you go outside, and it essentially is starting to get busy for the day, and it's a new day in the town and stuff. Birds chirping, people are out and about.
Does it seem like anyone in the city noticed the day before? A massive temporary crater.
Where you are in the town, it's not necessarily close to where the Athenium is. But if you want to wander over there and see, you can.
Yeah, she will.
You go over there and you notice that there is essentially Tuxop and Eliana had patched back up the holes, but there was still breaks in the streets or in the street part. But as the kind of trap that was laid kind of ignited and kind of set forth, things did cave in a little bit more back in so it leaves kind of a giant almost pothole in the center of the road. So you see that some workers are filling it in and stuff like that. You do notice that the guards are around it, but they're not there's not an investigation kind of scenario like you saw before, Bevel or things like that. This is something where you are essentially kind of noticing that they're just kind of it's almost as if a sinkhole just kind of happened to the thing. They're kind of treating it just as a normal hazard in the street or things like that. Nothing, there's no panic or pandemonium by any means.
Which for her is confusing.
Yeah.
Because then it seems in her head, she's like, so the town's just aware that this happens?
I mean,
This isn't weird? This isn't odd at all?
I mean, natural things happen all the time. So that's something that given that this is they are essentially a town on a swamp. So it could be expected that the foundations of places and sinkholes and stuff could happen. Because again, they have no reason to suspect anything differently.
They wouldn't have heard a massive bomb go off underground.
Just depends.
Is Jax anywhere?
Not that you see.
Men are so emotional.
We're not taking any stances. Let's just make that clear.
She's just gonna walk back to the tavern, I guess.
Okay. As you kind of walk back in, you see that slowly Sable and Eliana and Verity have kind of come downstairs.
Oh, did I get a long rest?
In theory.
Sorry, I'm just preparing my spells for the day. That's what I've been doing for the
Would
last
Verity get a
fucking
short
15
rest or a long
I was
rest?
doing the same thing.
I think I'll give you a long rest and just say that you're the last one to come downstairs.
How are you doing?
I'd like to know where Jax is. That'd be cool.
I haven't seen him.
Me either.
Have we checked outside?
And
Sorry,
okay,
that's me,
so,
not.
So I guess Verity would have come down after Eira walked in from outside.
Yeah. That's why I said Verity was the last one
Yeah.
to come down, and so essentially everybody was in the tavern by the time she came downstairs.
I mean, I walked back down to the Athenium site and back and didn't see him. There's more to the city than that, but,
Okay.
Are we gonna address what happened last night? Because I personally am not okay with the fact that we tried to take out a child who
Can we
surrendered
stop using
to us.
inappropriate pronouns and just speak directly?
What do you mean?
I gave Verity an order and she executed the order. Why are you using the word we? You didn't participate in that.
Guess that's
So if
true.
you're throwing accusations, throw them directly.
Okay. Well, Verity, you kind of stabbed a kid, and that scared me. And Eira, I don't know why you told her to do that. So, yeah.
I mean, the kid's not dead, so you don't have to feel like super guilty or anything.
He would have been dead if I didn't save him.
I saved him. As well.
We both touched him at the same time, I guess.
In addition to...
Well, I healed him so that he could talk.
Yeah.
I mean, I shouldn't have done that.
Okay, cool. So we're all good.
Why did you ask her to kill him?
It doesn't matter why.
I don't feel the need to explain something to you I'm going to need to explain 50 times for you to understand it.
Okay, well, I don't feel comfortable traveling with people who want to, take out children.
Eliana.
What? He didn't do anything wrong besides follow what his father was instructing
I know,
him to
but it was
do.
a really stressful moment. It was stressful. You saw Eira, she looked like she was dead. She was dead! Basically, like, I didn't see any air coming out of her nose. And, and Verity looks really guilty right now.
So does Sarah, but...
Yeah.
Did you happen to see the other body at the end of the room?
No.
He participated in murdering someone else. Because for some reason, I was part of some kind of ritual. To, who fucking knows? Reactivate the Marian bloodline? Who knows?
Because your blood, yeah.
Sure. All the information we have around that's dead in a hole. So, from where I'm standing, you have to make decisions fast in that moment. And my decision is...
Give me a history check, please.
Natural 1.
Nice.
Whoa.
Continue.
It's a
yeah,
1.
I mean, continue.
So for me, he was just as much a part of it as the rest of them.
I don't know. All the other cultists were dead, and he didn't seem like much of a threat at the time.
Let's not project your trauma
Whoa.
on a situation you have nothing to do with.
Well, I would like to make the point that he wasn't an active threat, and he had surrendered, and we had time to, try and figure out what was going on instead of, just stabbing him.
Don't regret it, and I won't take it back.
Okay.
Guys, let's just be clear here. If anyone's to blame for killing the kid, it's me.
He's not dead.
I understand that, but at one point he was.
Everybody's like, yeah, like let's say you're talking about killing the kid. It's like, no, he's not dead. Oh, wait, he's not dead.
Just in case you
Like,
forgot.
he's like popping out of the corner, like he's not dead.
Okay, it's gotta get back to it. Oh, I need to focus. How do you do focus boss? Is it
Like that.
yeah?
Suck.
Just do it to myself.
Did Eliana see Eira down?
No. Because he said that I didn't when I had gotten there.
There was not like an initial like,
Yeah.
oh, there she is.
And then I heard your voice give her the orders, so I didn't even think you were down, like, in character.
Well, she gave a shit. She would have looked harder.
I was in combat.
Say it out loud.
I asked. I
Say it
was
with
like,
your chest out loud.
Say it with your chest. I had asked Justin, and he said no.
All right. Well, you teed it up. Well, If you gave a shit enough to pay actual attention, you would have noticed that I was dead first. And you did nothing about that.
I had just gotten
For some
there.
reason, Sable did.
I had just gotten there. I could not see where you were. I just saw a bunch of people.
So you care more about a child you've met once or twice.
That's not
That's what I hear.
true.
And like the shattering of a glass in amidst a silent room.
He was in the tavern the
Jax.
whole fucking time.
Like Jax from the front door, you hear like, or at least from like the direction of the front door. It kind of just says blatantly, "And who the fuck are you?" Because this isn't the woman I fell in love with. You're kind of speaking like a cold bitch right now.
Get thrown against a concrete wall.
So that's an excuse to start issuing orders to kill people. And first of all, who the fuck are you as some kind of general to tell us who to kill and who not to kill? Aren't you supposed to be the holy one that appears like it adheres to a god and is like doing her will as a champion, and yet murdering kids is a part of her regime? Kind of interesting.
I've never ridden that high horse.
Well, you're riding one now about how it was so right to do what you did.
Sable hiding behind like a coffee mug.
Caroline is.
It's like, I'll admit, I didn't see you where you were. I didn't know how in imminent danger you were. I did try taking out a lot of the cultists that were in the area. But when I see someone who's given up and surrendered and seems very defenseless against their whole group, I'm not going to push and show no mercy, especially when they don't pose an imminent threat.
So when you hesitate and then they pull whatever is their hidden dagger.
Well, let's be clear. Even if we did hesitate and they tried to like pull something on us, we all have armor. They were in just a bunch of robes. And to your point that I overheard about the fact that all those people in that room killed the guy at the end of it, did you see any blood on his robes? Because I didn't.
I was too busy being literally thrown around.
Yeah, and then you went up to him and spoke to him, and you were basically less than a foot away from him.
She never looked at him.
All your adventure and training just went right out the window.
It was a really scary situation.
I am sorry that you had to go through all of what you did. It sounds terrible, but I also don't think we should be projecting and inflicting that harm on other people who don't deserve it.
And I'm sorry for being like brash and using that kind of language, because that's not me either. But I frankly think it was a bullshit move on both of you. And you were safe. You were good. You were healed. We were there to save you. There was at least 8 of us to their, 9 or 10? When we've literally been doing this for how long as a group?
Well, she wouldn't have known. Let's be clear before we got on that path. Eira would not have known about Tuxlop and the additional 3.
Right.
She only would have known about those 4.
But to his point, you knew enough to see Verity all the way across the room hesitate to kill somebody. So in his perspective, if you saw that, you would have seen everybody else fighting in that proximity.
Did you tell anyone that you saw your brother? Like, was that a conversation? Okay.
No, that hasn't been brought up.
Okay.
Or at least heard the brother.
And I don't know that it will. Because what's happening in her head right now is her experience does not matter. What she went through does not matter. So why would she bother to tell anyone what happened before they got there?
Yeah, fair enough.
Because, and again, this is Jack. I get that, like, you went through what you did. And I'm glad you're safe, trust me. Because if you weren't, I'd be, like, I wouldn't be here right now. I'd be out hunting those people. Whoever they were. The fact of the matter is we could have found out a hell of a lot more from somebody who agreed to surrender, even if we had to subdue him, tie him up, whatever. We had all your adventurant people, or at least one of them there. And, I mean, fuck, we saw those Herringons cut a guy to pieces in front of us. And yet, so, I mean, I don't see why we had any really cause to worry about our own safety. I saw the guy, the fucking giant robot. Like, let's not, like, ignore that. But
Yeah, because I have, like, no idea what you went through. But I'm here for you if you wanted to vent it out.
I love it. I love it so much.
Fucking.
I just don't like the path that we're going down as a group. And we need to acknowledge it now before it becomes a problem. Because I'll be damned if that's who we become as people.
I would like to say that I know the world doesn't show us a lot of mercy, especially given your state after you got pummeled into the ground. But that doesn't mean that we can't show other people our mercy. Doesn't mean we have to sacrifice our sense of mercy and our sense of humanity.
I see both sides. I'm not going to just be the merciful one and just get the shit kicked out of me. But at the same time, I'm not going to just, like, see some kids playing soccer in the street and just be like, fuck you, and hit somebody across the head. Like,
to be fair, he was like in the cult, but like it wasn't his choice really. But like it is a little different.
I'm just painting the extremes.
Yeah.
I guess what I kind of want to know from you, Eliana, is what do you need from us right now? Because you're expressing that you're uncomfortable with things that happened. Are you looking for a certain type of apology, or what would make you feel secure in this moment?
This is what we've been missing. We have been missing Sable. This is it. This is peace.
I'm just sensing a lot of aggression, and I fear that if we say this is okay, we might hurt more people.
I never said it was okay.
Mm-hmm.
But we're not acting like it's not either.
Yeah.
You're in my head?
Just hearing what I'm hearing.
Anyone here have detect thoughts?
I don't have that one. I don't know if that would feel morally correct to use it on this situation either.
I mean, she would voluntarily fail, is the thing.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I know no one out loud asked for it, but and she looks directly at Eliana. I shouldn't have done that. And I apologize for not only you having to witness that, but I'm sorry that I took a life without even thinking. I should have thought more.
I really appreciate that self-reflection. And I feel like you mean it. I feel like you're, I guess just in the future, we gotta think a little more about
This is great. This is
the
progress.
consequences.
I was waiting for that.
I know it's hard to do in like the middle of battle, but sometimes you just gotta take a little step back and take a breath when you can.
And in this moment, Verity's gonna unclasp her, her dagger holders and show that they're not in there.
Oh.
And she's gonna place them on the table.
She's gonna keep them.
I know.
She's gonna keep them. I'm just.
Don't worry.
You're like, I just drew those.
It's in a layer. I can just delete the layer. It's fine.
Well, I mean, I'm not saying, like, you're probably gonna need them. We're probably gonna get into a lot of fights with, like, monsters and bad people, but...
Oh, I hope not.
I know, but
Sable,
Are you
what do
joining?
you
Are you
think-
coming?
what do you think this entails?
And that's who we should be turning our blades on, right? I get both sides of this coin. I just...
Hasn't Jax beaten the absolute fucking shit out of someone for no reason before? Just rage out and just...
that was the guy
reason.
whipping the fox. I feel like
Yeah.
abusing an animal is a little...
No, I feel like there was another instance.
Maybe.
Yeah.
he's had growth since then.
God damn
But
it.
we're not allowed the growth.
That's what we're doing right now.
I feel like we've taken a couple steps backwards and then we're trying to go.
It's never been like a random person. Like
Okay.
it's always been in like the heat of the combat with everybody. Like
He's
they-
definitely gone very overboard with the bad people sometimes, like, beating their
Yeah,
heads into,
yeah.
like, a mush, but, like, it's been on bad
Yeah,
people.
yeah. That was the fight in Botafolia. Yeah,
That was
It was-
intense.
Yeah, that's when. Yeah, Jack saved
Eliana
Stella.
saw that, and
Yeah.
she was mortified.
It was the guy was beating and whipping the shit out of Stella, and so like you know it's abusing an animal. It takes it seriously.
Yeah.
No, I don't like. It's weird to think of you in that context. I don't like that.
I made a decision.
It
was the wrong decision, but I still made the decision.
But it'd be good to hear you say that
I appreciate
out
you.
loud.
In her sassy mind, in her head, only in her head. I did just say it.
She's like, I did.
I know, yeah,
Just-
just now. That's what he's acknowledging. It's just that level of, instead of you saying, oh, well, I was just giving an order, like, that's you saying, no, it was the wrong call to make. That's where he gains reassurance of, like, no, okay, she's still in there. Like, this isn't, like, some other form of Eira that...
Well, thank you for, at least saying that. I'm glad you see it as not a great call, at least.
Why do you think I told him to go to Port of Mar? I need to send a letter to my mother so she's aware that he's coming.
Yeah. I just...
Depending on his skills, I might put him on my staff. But
Oh.
Are we sure he's going to make it there?
if Tuck's up has anything to say about it, yeah, I'll make it for just fine.
That's kind of my point.
What do you mean?
If he knows as much as he does, he's probably not going to be taken out of your people's like custody for a long time. They're going to be like using him as like a confidential informant
Told
to
them
find
to
those
treat him
people. Like,
How do you know that?
it's what I would do. I've been on an like
Well, to
an
your point
enforcer
earlier,
squad
he's a
for
child.
Yeah, and he's a child with information. He's the only one that has
And the best
information.
place for a child with information is to go to the parents of the person that needed the information up.
What do you mean by
It's the
that?
safest place for him to be. It's for him to get comfortable and open up.
But why would they have information for your parents?
In her brain, she's so confused because it's like, okay, so Tuxlap went with them to Port of Mar, and her...
That's not where he took them.
I know. Can I backtrack through my brain? Jesus Christ.
Let her cook in there.
And
Up in that brain.
because we all went to Port of Mar, except for Dawn, Tuxlap was there.
Killian was the one that was on the ship.
Everyone's aware. I would think that everyone would be aware of what Port of Mar is. I would not think that would be a secret.
Yeah.
Correct?
Go ahead and roll for history for me.
You're generous. It's an 11 off of a 3.
Damn, that's a good answer.
Tuxlop had said before they teleported out,
It was going to be a while.
no, that they were taking him to the Adventurets. They were not going to Port of Mar.
Yes, but he said it would be a while. Because I told him once they
Yeah.
were done, he needed to go to Port of Mar.
Mhm.
But back to my original point, because we're getting stuck in the blood grass for some reason. Why do you think I told him to go there?
I know why you told him to go there. My thing is you made a comment just now that to take him to the people that he has information for, ergo your parents. What does that mean?
You think my parents aren't also investigating my brother, their son?
There you go.
What
think
does
that's
your
not
brother
You're
have to
welcome.
do with it?
There you go.
You think that's not
Thanks-
happening?
Thanks, folks. We got there.
What do you mean?
We don't know about
None of them know about your brother, and that's
None of
what
us
he
know
was
why
trying
it's
to
connected.
get out. Yeah,
And yeah, I mean, she was being tight-lipped intentionally.
I know, and that's where he's like, oh, what? Because as the DM, I was like, oh, like this is the segue.
Have you spoken of your brother though in the past? I think
Yes.
I think you have, but not like that he was involved in this thing.
Mhm.
I just want to clarify, like
Very briefly.
I think the extent that Eliana and Verity would have is that her and her brother are estranged.
okay.
I think that would probably be the
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know if
extent.
you talked even about like the nightmare that you faced,
Mm-mm.
about like what that was or what you saw. The only person that saw that was
She keeps that shit locked up.
nobody saw that because you saved Jax, and then it like kind of spawned everything else. So
She keeps her stuff locked up.
yeah, so no, I mean you would have mentioned that you had a brother, an estranged brother, but that's probably about the extent of anything that any of them know.
What does your brother?
Sable knows nothing.
What does your brother have to do with this?
The Warforged? You saw?
Yeah, I saw a tiny bit.
He wasn't in it, but he was controlling it. He is, from what I have gathered, she's drawing conclusions. Don't be a jerk. Is the head of a high up something in a cult that's trying to bring back Mar.
Didn't Mar like
Explode? Yeah. Mhm.
like self-implode?
It did.
Okay, so why do they want to bring it back if it kind of
Some pure bloodlines thing that's wrong and gross.
ew.
And yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I was
you-
part of some ritual about it.
Yeah, because of your blood. Because it does the psh thing.
What is the psh thing?
You'll know it when you see it.
I ain't never.
Player does not want to think back and remember, so you'll know when you see it.
You want?
Nope.
I was saying, we
Nope.
could do a history.
Nope. I think know it when you see it's better.
Well, I can see how that would be traumatizing.
And
Yeah.
I haven't heard his voice since I was very young.
Oh, so you recognized it though.
Oh yeah.
Okay. How long has that been?
We said she's 127.
Mm-hmm. She's an elf.
Yeah.
I would probably have been like an early, like 12,
Okay.
13.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
So like,
He was like in and out a lot when I was a kid. He was there when I was like little, and then he was gone.
How much like older? Like was he like an adult when you were
He was a young adult, so like about as old as I am now.
Okay. Hmm.
That's
Yeah.
a big age difference.
can I tell if she like loves her brother or cares about him, or like hates him?
Use
I do
that,
a
That's
Passive
gonna be
insight.
a complicated role.
use that passive insight
Yeah.
with your tarot cards.
That's what I was wondering if I could do.
Okay. Let's see.
Oh
Which
shoot!
one would be the one? Do-a-do-a-do-do-do.
There could be a few cards that would pop out on that one, I think.
So the first one is going to be the Five of Wands upright.
Mm-hmm.
And then Four of Cups upright. And then Seven of Swords upright.
Mm.
And then the Queen of Swords upright. No, reverse. Sorry, reverse.
Okay.
Reverse.
Reverse.
Yeah.
It's complicated, huh?
What do you mean?
That's good. That's good.
Like, your relationship with him is a little, like, complicated, right?
It doesn't exist.
No relationship? Yeah, because
I
if he
think
was your
that's
friend...
kind of what the word estranged alludes to.
Oh my gosh.
Is
You
not
don't have to
having-
be sassy with me. All I'm trying to say is that, like, if he was your friend, he could have just asked for your blood. But, like, I can assume he's not your friend because he kidnapped you.
That is probably the safest assumption you've drawn yet.
I'm sorry, what did you say?
That's probably the safest assumption you've drawn yet.
Yeah. I'm falling in love. It's a flirty joke.
Okay.
Yeah.
So,
Verity's so.
So about that.
about what?
It's like a few weeks ago. Verity, someone was murdered. Verity!
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
So, are we... Do you want to go after your brother?
I don't know that I have much of a choice. What do I want to do? I want to go home. And I want to sleep in my own bed. And I want to go back to the mundane. That'd be cool. But we know that there are two different relics that he's going after.
Oh.
Yeah. And there's also this thing of this tower of these Marian hearts with this like metal dragon thing that we need to take care of too. That's just been floating out there for the last, I don't know how freaking long.
Is that a problem?
I
I
feel
don't think that was a problem. I think that was like a thing. Like it
Existing.
was just there. Yeah, it wasn't doing anything.
Seems like might be a future problem.
Yeah, that or it's like something that
But what's to say that should he get his hands in the relic that doesn't become a
Yeah.
problem?
fair enough.
A central repository of...
Do you even think he knows that that's there? Because you didn't, and you've.
I would like to just err on the side of caution and assume that he knows more than I did at that time. Like, that's a really safe bet.
I mean, the cult seem kind of fanatic, and they might know a lot more than we do about, certain Marian stuff.
Yeah, but fanatic can also be.
I mean, the ledger that I found, it was a bunch of like historical, like Marian artifacts. Like,
Give me an intelligence check.
why are you
Just do
looking
it.
at me like
Just do
that?
it. Just do it. It's good.
Just do it.
Okay,
It's for a good cause.
It's for a good cause.
It's for charity.
A 5.
Yay.
5. Nope. Nothing was put together.
We already determined that it was that it was a ledger
No,
of.
that's I know. Yeah, she knows that. I was just
Yeah.
seeing if a connection was made, but there wasn't. At least not in that moment.
I feel like that's a pretty short, like.
Sit around
Do you
historical.
No, yeah, no. The you understood the ledger. I was trying to see if you were to connect dots, and you did not connect dots.
So there's artifacts, and there's a gigantic metallic dragon.
Mm-hmm. Metal.
Do you think that would be one of the artifacts? Maybe not.
I hope not.
Seems more like a protector, so I don't see why it would be. But I don't know. I'm just throwing out some.
I think the hearts are the important part.
Yeah.
You make an intelligence check. See, the dice know you're not doing it with enthusiasm. That's why it's not doing you any favors.
It's an 11.
Case in point. This will be an easy DC just because it's almost like it's an easy inference to make.
Guys, are we dumb?
At least right now.
What's that lemon blueberry tart?
If you were to look at what robots you've seen in the last couple of months,
Mm-hmm.
the one you just saw,
Yeah.
the technology of it, and this is her, not you,
Yeah.
does not look like the same technology that you saw in that space.
Okay. Oh, okay. I wasn't what I was.
Therefore, on a very rudimentary inference, they are not related. Or at
Okay.
least from what you can gather now.
As I was saying, I think the hearts are the more important component of the dragon, or the hearts. I think he would be more
Right.
likely to go after all of
Her
the
question
Morian.
was if the dragon was one of the relics.
And I said no. Right?
Just clarifying that inference, yeah.
Okay.
We struggling tonight, y'all.
Well, I just want to kind of clear the air, or maybe I'll make it more muddy. I don't know, but for our future stuff, can we all kind of agree to if someone is defenseless and surrenders, we don't kill them immediately. We give them a chance. We tie them up or something. We subdue them and then make a decision.
If that's
You
a
see
boundary.
that? You see that over there? You see that dead horse? We're gonna beat it.
Well, listen, if that's a boundary you want to set, I'm all in.
It is. Look, I'm not saying we can't kill them eventually.
Is there anyone in this space that looks sus?
I mean, you can make a perception check.
People in the tavern are just like, these guys are talking about killing me.
Well, it's a loud, it's a busy morning, part of the tavern and stuff.
22.
See, when the dice know you give a shit, it actually gives you good numbers.
Give me an 11. A
Duh.
base 11.
Those the drop rolls of just I don't care, versus I want to know.
You should.
They feel the energy.
And yeah, the dice know. Dice never lie.
Is there anyone that looks sus?
No. No, you don't see anybody paying attention
Okay.
to you guys.
Well, Eira still looks around anyway.
Everything all right?
Yeah, you just say that out loud of sure, I could tie him up, talk to him first, but now it's okay, well, what if people in the cult heard that just now, and then they're gonna act all innocent, no, don't hurt me, and then we tie him up, and then they're actually super OP wizards, and then
Well,
they
if they're
just
a spellcaster, then they need to use their
mind
hands
melt us.
for a lot of spells. So if we restrain them, then they can't use their
Oh,
spells.
Is the eye still on your hand?
I was wondering.
my
thank you.
God.
I was literally about to address that
She
situation.
still has her gloves on, so I don't think she knows.
Yeah, that's a good.
She takes the glove off.
And it's gone.
Is there any scarring or anything?
No.
No.
There's scarring on your arm from the
Yeah.
stuff, but that's about it.
Okay.
High five.
Okay.
He just like shows the hand to the table. It's like, high five.
Well, and then I hit her on the forehead.
Bonk.
Yeah, that's good. Yeah.
Yeah.
High five. Yeah, all round.
Sarah's broken.
I caught her off guard.
Yeah, high five.
Hey, Stella, do you know high five?
You like put your hand up and she like,
Yeah.
Aww.
My baby.
Is it breakfast time?
I would think during this whole thing you've been eating and like having coffee and stuff. Yeah.
So where are we going next? Do we have any leads?
I mean, I don't think since Lokil and Don are gone, I guess there's not. I mean, took care of everything with your family. Is there a reason to stay in?
God, I hope not.
Yeah, we should probably leave. It's been a hot mess here for Eira.
Can you all make history checks, please?
He's like, don't leave yet.
Natural
Missing
one.
something.
Oh, that's not it.
18.
Natural one.
Okay.
Guys.
13.
13. You rolled an 18.
Plus 0.
Verity's still in
Well,
distress.
natural 18.
Yeah, Jack. You remember.
Hi.
And you're the only one that remembers.
Hey.
As far as like if there's any leads on anything,
Yeah.
Well,
you remember the operatives that are stationed at a airship port. That's about the only thing that you remember as far as like, what can we do with next?
there's the Gilead Mountains that Eira knows about.
Yeah, and you know from where, and I would think you would know from where you are right
That's
now.
why she
That's
didn't say
a
anything.
really fucking far place away.
Yeah. She's going home before she goes there.
Well, 'cause I didn't know if I had that information because it was in the books, right?
Yeah.
So I would have been the one to have that.
You all talked about it in the room before people started putting books in their bags.
Okay.
That is true.
Okay.
I just hadn't looked around for books, so I didn't know if I was part of that. Anyway, so, you know, the only place I guess we could start is looking for an airship port, according to those books we read. That you guys read? I didn't read any books.
Eira gets up, walks over to the bar, waves down the bartender.
What can I do for you?
Is there an airship port near here?
Not really.
You know where the closest one might be?
Yeah, I mean, there's one on the continent. It's not close. You said near here.
Okay,
Yeah,
but like
the-
where on the continent? There are a lot of places on the continent.
Yeah.
Where?
Pulling up a fucking map. Hold the goddamn shit.
Don't rush me!
He's got to cook.
I gotta figure out where it is. I also have a name for it. Well, that'd be the Aarencia Aeronautics Alliance. That's, over on the East Coast. Not close, but it's close enough.
I remember this joke from before we started. Fucking AAA.
Yes.
This place has existed since session 0.
Correct. Yeah, when I made the map.
Okay, thank you. Appreciate you.
Yeah, anytime.
Okay, so AAA is a thing.
Good detective work there, Sherlock.
Thanks. Sometimes it's just easier to ask.
That's what I tell my mom. We're at Walmart and like she needs groceries, and I'm like, you can ask them. She's like, no.
You see this? See this big? Here comes the airplane. I'm just gonna spoon feed it to you.
He could have said no.
AAA.
I feel like y'all would have just been like needle in a haystack in it for a little while. So it's like maybe we should just cut to the chase.
I'm not the brightest.
So AAA is a thing. It's kind of far though.
Well, better get to moving, I guess.
Does Eira know where that is?
No.
Okay. That's fair.
Maybe we should go look for some maps.
Does Sable know
We
where
need
it
to find
is?
a cartographer.
You know, wait, didn't we have horses?
I was
do have
about
horses.
I did bring that up.
Yeah, where are the horses?
Whose horse is that?
What did we do with the horses?
We
I
had
think-
horses?
Yeah, we
Oh,
we
yeah.
rode it on horses. You weren't alive or conscious.
Don,
You
had
have-
you on the horse
Yeah,
with
you
her.
can use Dawn's horse.
Yeah, I say we got extras.
And you can use
Yes.
Lukiel's horse.
I'm coming.
Are
I mean,
you?
of course I'm coming.
You literally revived me.
yeah,
I
you
think you're
healed her,
coming.
So you,
Yeah, given the state of things, it's probably good to have a healer around.
Yeah, it's a lot of responsibility.
Yeah, so
So much
do
is on your
spells
back.
that won't kill us then.
Do we need to name
can ha-
ourselves?
What would that be?
Jack.
I mean, it boosts morale.
Chaos clouds? Because she does
Clouds!
area effect spells that just kill everyone and us?
I don't like chaos. Sounds negative.
Well, then what do you want to call us?
I don't know.
What was your old? You had an old group,
I never
right?
prescribed to that
Okay. Well, I guess like we do have.
because it entails a word that you are very against. So
Murder.
Killer.
Oh.
Oh.
Well, we have horses, so
We do have kind of a new amalgamation of people. I really hope that, new people are great, but it's kind of a lot to integrate new people. I kind of hope we stay like,
who the fuck are you telling?
yeah. I mean,
Only OG character. From
I've been the
session
second. Yeah. I mean, I'm the second longest with you and Jax. You guys are kind of.
one. Jax is the second longest.
Yeah, I'm the third, but yeah.
What's happening now?
I'm just
We're
saying.
veering off the tracks.
I'm just saying maybe, it would be good to solidify us as a group. Obviously we don't have to come up with a name or anything right now, but like it'll be good to think about.
Well, we are chaotic.
Yeah. I like that word.
We don't have to do
It's
that.
tacky. It's cheap.
Well, then
Better
you come
word.
up with something.
No.
We don't have to do it in a second. We can.
We're not going to be Eira's envoys.
No. Gross.
Well, we can think on it, and I guess in the meantime we go get our horses.
yeah.
Should we go to a cartographer first?
Yeah.
Let's look at a cartographer.
Hey,
And then-
barkeep.
Sorry, I'm busy.
Okay.
Come back at 3
I'm from-
o'clock.
I've been here a while. Do I know where a cartographer is?
Roll for history.
The way you take us to another florist.
It's somebody who designs carts.
I mean, it's a natural one. So I have no idea then, right? Or what?
No,
Someone
you know
takes
exactly
photographs.
where this thing is.
Someone takes photographs of carts.
And you say, I'm going to lead the way.
I just remembered
Okay.
where to go.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
Wait, is this
Okay.
gonna be like last time?
You taking us to a flower shop again?
I mean, I don't think so. I think I'm going to a place cartography.
They make maps.
Yeah.
You didn't seem very sure about that.
Sable doesn't know if she's sure or not. Fate will guide the way.
Do you know the name of this shop?
Can you?
No, but I know the location. We
Can
don't
you
have
read?
to go. Can I read?
Mhm.
On Sundays and
What?
What's a Sunday?
Soledad.
on Solodons and on my dad's side I can. She's being sarcastic.
Surely.
Or Soldian is actually the Sunday, but
Can your cards tell us anything?
I'm just gonna step outside and start looking around.
you don't use good old fashioned
my
the
eyes.
eyes.
Aw. Rats.
Let the eyes tell the story. The eyes have it.
Okay, but
That's a natural one.
That is a 19.
Okay.
19 plus 8.
What are we doing?
We're looking for a cartographer.
14.
Oh my god.
Oh.
Wait, is this history or perception?
This is history.
Oh, history.
Oh, I thought
Because
it's
you're-
looking with my eyes.
7.
7. Yeah, I mean, if you're gonna go off that mentality, there is not a cartographer within eye distance at this point. So
I mean, it's a 27 for perception or history.
steps outside and is like, it's just a bunch of buildings.
I can't read.
I see nothing. Maps, you say? You remember the marketplace that you guys had been to, that there were like a bunch of stalls on the this kind of marketplace, and there was like businesses kind of all around it. So that's your first guess as to where to go.
Let's get out of the marketplace, guys.
Okay.
And if you need anything before we leave, go ahead and kind of get your list together in your head, so you can get it at the marketplace.
I'm gonna go upstairs and get my weapons real quick.
I don't really have any money, but okay.
You do. And with that, this is where we're going to end for tonight as the group heads off to the marketplace to potentially find a map. And for God's sakes, let's hope they do. Thank you so much for joining us here at Off the Beaten Quest. We hope you had a fun time. Big shout outs to Pocket Bard for all the cool and intense music and sound effects that made it oh so much more immersive. And we thank you so much, and we will see you in the next episode.
Bye.